evening session. So 4 hours of PD, and it's been an absolutely awesome day. So we are here because we're raising money for Rett syndrome and Angelman syndrome, and collectively we've got just under 100 coaches all working together to raise money, but also to give value on different topics, and everyone's sharing their skills, their knowledge, and the experience. So it is very fun, very fire. So just waiting for people to join the stream. So we've just started up a new one, and here everybody comes. So guys, if we are live on Facebook, live on YouTube, and live on LinkedIn, and if you are watching on Facebook, you can go to chat.restream/io, and you can connect your Facebook up to Restream, and then when you put a comment, we can actually see who it is and your message. So that's pretty cool. So without any further ado, I want to give a big massive welcome to my brother from another mother, all the way in the motherland, Mr. Chris Wilson. How are you, legend?
I am fantastic. What a pleasure to be sharing the screen with you, brother. It's a joy.
Mate, the pleasure is all mine, and I love whenever you speak, present, or share, because you've always got so much value and gold to give. So I'm just gonna sit back. I'm gonna soak it all in. And,
well, before you sit back, whoever's watching, whoever's streaming, can you just share some love and appreciation for what Dre is doing? He's putting all this together. What you don't see in the background, he's telling us how to get on the stream, how to do stuff. What a servant to humanity. And Brett and Paul, you just got to love this guy for what he's doing for your kids and other people who are affected. So just let me shower you with so much love and appreciation for what you're doing, mate.
Thank you, mate. I appreciate you. All right. You're going to set me off, so I'm going to leave you to it, and I'll see you in about 20-25 minutes.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is the UK morning, but if it's evening or it's lunchtime for you, however you are, I want to say, how are you? And my role is I'm a midlife men's coach. Well, if you're in midlife or if you're a woman, then this will still apply to you, because we are all going to go through this journey that means that you'll be in a midlife period. So what does that really mean? Well, for a man, we tend to have what we call midlife crisis. That's what a lot of people term it as. And today I'm going to take you through some steps to try to enable you to pull yourself out of the messy middle, or even to present yourself. But whoever you are, wherever you are, the steps I'm going to talk about today are all about making decisions and choices. And my topic is 5 minutes more. And the real call to you is, can you input 5 minutes more action, thought, commitment, whatever it might be, to try to make sure that the rest of your days that you've got left on this planet are the best you can be. Now, just as a bit of context of science here for the men who are watching, and also the ladies that are connected to men, we have a bit of an issue in that there's a story about the two frogs. I'm sure everybody's heard this story before. And the frogs go into boiling water. But the frog that starts off in cold water, and then as the water warms up, doesn't really see what's happening. And this is what's happened with men as they transition from kind of about 35 to 50. Their hormones will automatically decrease, the testosterone level. But it's so gradual, you don't actually notice what's happening. So as you go through your days of getting older and older, you don't notice what's happening. And it's like that frog when the water's warming up. You don't appreciate what's happening until perhaps it's too late. So for men, as you transition through midlife, there's lots of steps you can take. And that's the kind of thing I can work with you on as we transition through midlife. The ladies in the room, your transition is like the frog that jumps in and it's boiling water and you get out quickly. I'm not suggesting it's any easier, but menopausal changes tend to happen a bit quicker than men, and therefore there's a lot more focus on it. But today it's all around making sure that you've got the best life you can have. And I want to share with you 4 numbers today: 53, 4732, 1966, and 37. The first number is 53. And that represents the age that I hit last Sunday. Maybe not particularly significant, but when you appreciate that I am now older than my mum, who passed just before her 53rd year, it gives me a real big sense of pride, melancholy, reflection. And when I think about where we are, I want to challenge you all to think about the second number I shared, which was 4732. What does 4732 mean to you? Well, according to the average lifespan of a human, you have 4,732 weeks on this planet. 4732. And one of the coaches that I really admire is a guy called Richmond. A lot of you will know him. And he has a poster on his wall. And every Monday morning, he'll put a little dot on his poster representing another week has gone. So here's mine. That is my life currently to date. You can see that I've already used up more than 2,000 weeks. And allegedly, on the averages, I only have 1966 weeks left. Where are you on this journey? If you're 25, 30, you're below the halfway point. But every week that goes past is a week that is lost. And Paulo Coelho says, it's not the days that count, it's making the days that count the best. So don't be counting the weeks off, make the weeks count. And what I want to talk to you today about is how you absolutely nail in your goals. And you've got 3 ways to look at life. You can kind of meander along and just go up and down, or you can take the downward curve, which means that every day you're making choices that make you worse, or you can lean in to those choices that make you a better person day by day. And then when you aggregate that little 5 minutes more, which is honestly just 0.1% of a day, when you put that 5 minutes extra effort in to that, over the power of 365, the numbers are amazing. So here it is, the graphic representation, 0.99, which is kind of 0.1% less over 365, or 0.001. Just that extra 5 minutes of growth every day. What is that going to do to you? Well, here it is. Over a year, you are 37 times better than when you started the year, just by applying that tiny margin of extra effort every day. Okay, great, Chris. All the science, all the knowledge, absolutely got that. But how do we apply that to a system? And as one of the coaches that I work with for midlife men, what I do is I'm kind of like a coach in your pocket. Every day, you're getting a little bit of extra sizzle from me, a bit of accountability, a bit of check-in. And we're going to ask you every day to do something. But you need to set your stall out yourself as to what it is you're trying to achieve. I'm just going to take you through my framework of how I'll work with an individual to get them to start, and then how they apply that. And at the end of it, how we wrap it up as one accountability system. And here's mine. I mean, I'll share it with you. This is in my journal. It's a laminated piece of paper. I've written it down, and I have a very clear goal at the start, which is written down. And I'll do this every morning. Every morning I'll check in with my journal and I'll literally read out my goal. And it'll say, I'll do this by the end of this year. These are the 4 main outcomes I'm searching for, which means that, And I literally visualize that success happen. And when you repeat that subconscious feeling all the time to your brain and tell your brain physically, this is what I'm going to do, the subconscious brain begins to believe it to be true, because it can only rationalize one thought at a time, a negative or a positive. So it's up to you. What are you filling your head with each morning or each night before you go to bed? Are you telling yourself the success story, or are you telling yourself the self-critic story? So there's my visualization. And then on the other side, it says, why is this going to work? And then who's it for? And then what are the outcomes that I'm going to have for that? So that's application. I just want to show you that I am a complete adopter of what I say I will do. So I'm just going to share some slides here with you, and you can just see how this is going to work. Just bear with me 1 second. So this is where we are at. So the first step on this journey is to ask yourself, what do you really, really want? Really think, what is it that I actually want to achieve? And I want to think about a few people that have done something amazing in life. So this is Tiananmen Square. And this guy walked up to a tank in the middle of the square against all the might of the Chinese army. And he decided to take action. What was in his internal soul? What was in his drive, his purpose? What made him decide that he was going to challenge the system in such a physical way? Have you got that strength of purpose, that strength of conviction, and that passion to take your actions on to that level? Or what about this guy? I'm a great fan of endurance. We all talk about Roger Bannister of being that threshold moment of breaking the 5-minute mile. How long did this guy dream about breaking that sub 2-hour marathon mark? He had to run like under almost 5-minute mile pace consistently for 26.2 miles. Yes, he had pacemakers. Yes, he had amazing shoes on, but he was so committed to that goal. And look at his face there. Look at the vision. Look at the passion. He is the embodiment of somebody owning their journey. And look at the guys behind and the crowd. They're all pumping and cheering and absolutely behind him. But the thing about that picture is that he's in the middle of that journey, searching for his goal of crossing that line in under 2 hours. Have you got something pulling you through? So on the days that you know you don't want to, you'll get up and do it anyway. Because the difference between amazing and just standing still is doing the things that you don't want to do, but you just do it anyway. And that's where I'll get to the end of this in terms of wrapping it all up in a system of accountability that makes sure that you do the things that you know you should do, no matter what. And what about Greta Thunberg? She stood on that stage and she challenged world leaders with words that drilled into their purpose and said to them straight on, are you doing enough? Could you have made that impact under the age of 20? Could you make that impact now? What is it that drives her beliefs and her mindset to be as brave as she is to take that message across the world? Have you got the light under your fire that gives you that sense of, I am the change maker? This is my wraparound system. You've probably seen this before. It's the Wheel of Life. And it's a great way of just assessing where you are now and what the problems are. So you just take a piece of paper. There is an online version of this as well that I'll share with my coaches and coachees. And you literally divide it up, 8 sections of a pizza, and then you label up all the sections one by one. these are the often quadrant labels that you would have. And then you say to yourself, if I'm a 10, so I'm absolutely nailed in, I love my money, I love my finances, I'm making all the money I want to make in the world, then you're right on the outer edge of the circle. If you're a 1, maybe on fun, you haven't laughed, you've got nothing to do, you're not having any fun with your relationships, your significant others, then you go right in the middle. Drop a number near the middle. And then you just connect up all the dots. And then you take a retrospective look at that wheel from afar and see where you've got a problem. And that's the first thing to fix. Because when you've got a bumpy wheel, when you try to go fast, when you try to go hard, when you try to go fast downhill, that bump in the wheel just keeps on hitting and stops you from that momentum that takes you forward. So if you're wondering what to focus on first, then the thing that is on this wheel that stands out for you is the place to put your attention. And don't do the thing that you think is easiest to do, because that's not the thing that's going to compel you to be better. Focus on the bit that is really important to you, and that's the bumpy wheel. So you've got your action. Maybe that's the first thing you do. Often by the time I'm working with a client, they'll be working with all 8 quadrants together, but we pick on the top 3. What are the top 3 things that we need to focus on? And what are the alignment factors associated with those 3 things that we need to do every day religiously? And they're the top of our list every day. Are done by 1s, are finished by 5. What are the things that by the time you put your head on that pillow that night, you have struck through those 3 things that you said you will do, no matter what? And then you've got to ask yourself why. A good colleague of mine, Patrick Farnan, another legend coach, is talking about this just in a video this week. What is your why? Go and look up the Simon Sinek Golden Circle thing. Why do you want to do this? Why did Greta Thunberg have that passion to want to do what she does by way of the planet? Why did that person want to stand in front of the tank in Tiananmen Square? Why is it important to you? Write it down. Commit your thoughts to paper, review them, and really think, why do I want to do this purpose, this goal? And then ask yourself some very important things. How am I going to be this person? Make it smart, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, time bound. And what's the pain of not having or doing this? By not doing this, what does that mean? Who am I letting down? What will I feel like in 12 months, 24 months, when I'm still stuck in the same place? Tony Robbins has that quote that says, the pain is all about making a choice, because the pain of staying the same is worse than the pain of changing itself. And then visualize the future. What will you feel like when you've reached this goal? Whether it be finances, fun, relationships, spirituality, business. How will you feel when it's done? What kind of adulation do you want to feel from other people when they say to you, hey, you're looking really healthy. What's going on? You're looking amazing. You're looking so free, so light of mind, so happy. What does that feel like when people tell you those things? That's step number 2, your why. And then number 3 is why not? Most of us are trying to avoid a future that hasn't happened yet, or we're the victims of past stories. And I bet you, if I'm asking you now, there are things that you committed to on January the 1st this year and you haven't followed through. Or there's the same story you said last year that you said, this year I am going to fill in the blank, and you didn't. Why didn't you? Why not? What stopped you? What got in the way? Who held you back? Who said you can't, you shouldn't, there's no way? Why not? Or what sacrifices are you not prepared to take in order to fulfill your purpose? Why not? Step number 4, what's the plan? We've done through our what, we've gone through our why, we've gone through why not, and then we got to start thinking, what's the plan? What's the first thing that we can do if it's about, let's make it easy, losing weight. Today, I am going to find a club, a gym, a workout. I'm just going to find somewhere that might enable me to start my fitness journey. Maybe I would like to enroll or find a coach, but just take the first action, not 17. Just the first tiny step that says to your brain, I'm in charge here. We're going to start taking some action steps forward to enable us to climb the stairs of success. The tiny, tiny, tiny first action, which means that you've started. What do they say? It's really hard to shift a parked, stalled car. But once it begins to roll, then it's a very, very hard thing to stop. But the effort and commitment it takes to move that parked car, move your health journey, take you forward to that success, get you out of date, have a better relationship. It's the first step that's the most compelling. And then stringing in step after step after step, which is where my whole accountability system comes together when I'm working as a coach in somebody's pocket. And then really get that embodied into your brain. And I have this lovely quote here that says, your mind is a garden and your thoughts are the seeds. You can grow flowers or you can grow weeds. So when you have that story in your head that says, I can't, I shouldn't, who do I think I am? Well, that's the seed that you put in there. But if you fill it with, I can, I will, I must, and see yourself as the version of yourself in your future that says that you've done it, already thinking you're in the place of success, you're beginning to fool or tell your mind that this is actually real. This is full. So what's happening to you today? Have you got seeds of growth in your mind, or have you got polluting weeds? Over to you. What's the story you're telling yourself? And then it's absolute commitment. Like I said before, doing the things that you know you should do and you do them anyway, no matter what. The choices that you take, you put your head on the pillow that night and you say to yourself, I, Chris, I, Dre, I, Fiona, whatever your name is, tonight I did my stuff. I lived my purpose. I didn't let the people down that are counting on me. And I can go to sleep tonight knowing that I fulfilled my purpose on my actions. And then number 7, it's all around reward. The brain loves dopamine. It's why we enjoy so much like sugar or social media, because the brain likes to be told, good job, great job, well done. So what's your reward for your journey? And are you rewarding yourself with success? Because it's not all about pain. It's not all about suffering. You've got to feel good. And this is where we get to what's called the confidence competency loop. It starts off with dream phase. Everybody says, yeah, I'm going to do this. It's going to be amazing. And then you start the journey. You start seeing the little bits of success. And then you get to what's called the middle. And this is the bit between stopping and pushing through. And when you've got a compelling purpose and a compelling commitment, and you know that no matter how hard this is, on the other side of hard is the promised land. On the other side of difficult is your destiny. And you just push through that messy middle because you know somewhere out there, this is going to work. And on the other side of that is reward. Maybe it's an amazing night out at the top of the Shard in London, or at the Sydney Opera House, or overlooking the Grand Canyon with a barbecue. What is your reward that you can visualize and say, when I have done, I will receive? And then when you've locked in that reward, you finish that confidence competency loop, you learn from all the successes, and then you go again. Just like a child when they were learning to walk. What we didn't do when they fell over, we didn't look down and say, yeah, you stupid little kid. Who do you think you are? You can't walk? No, you give them encouragement. You enable them. You tell them they can. You give them the hug. and you tell them to go again. And the child learns from the failure of getting down, but absolutely they will drive themselves to get back up again and try, because they want to succeed and they know that they can. And then it's all about acceleration. You've learned the successes, you've learned the methodology, and then you just need to keep on going. And all the way through this is where working with a coach or peer group, you've got to share your accountability. Somebody's got to be checking in with you to say, hey, how's it going? Where are you? What's stopping you? How can we help you? And I love the phrase for me, which was always about, it's not how, but who. Who can help me? Because when you work inwardly with how, you're only working in your own zone. When you ask, who can help me? Suddenly you're putting it out to the universe of all the people that are successful, all the people that are ahead of you, all the people that might be able to give you a tip, a success, a piece of motivation. And when you ask, who can help me? You become a lot more resourceful. So that's kind of where I am with your steps of success. And I just want to give you an example of where I wrap all this together with my own personal accountability system, which is somewhere. Yeah, so you'll see this is a chart that I'll have each week. And on the left-hand side, I'll have written down all the things that matter for me, all the things that are really important. My daily tasks that I know that when I do these particular tasks, it's all compounding together to hit my goals. And I'll rate myself each week. This is this week's chart in progress. And you see I've got ticks, I've got writing, and on the right-hand side, I've got a scoring system. And by Friday night, I'll literally sit down and I'll see how I'm doing. And the goal here is to see where you are missing out, because you always do the things you like to do. And when you rate that system week by week, you can see where you're consistently not focusing your energy. So next week, that's where you got to start. Because if you keep missing out on the things that you know are not working, then you're not going to be able to achieve that breakthrough. And the only way of really accountability, success to yourself, is to see where you've got success. And most importantly, where you're missing out. Success leaves clues. What's working for you? So it's July the 15th. We've got a second year ahead of us, second half year. Whatever's happened in the first 6 months of the year, if you're not where you need to be, you've got a second chance to reboot, refocus, review, and go again. And if you want to work with a mindset coach like myself, particularly if you're a man going through midlife, there are some ways that you can join in on my Midlife Men's website, which is mid-life.men. You can join my Facebook group, but I'll tell you now, I don't take many people on board. I want to work with people that are absolutely nailed in for success. Come with me on the journey, and if you've enjoyed just a section of what I've done today, there is much more sizzle behind the screen. Dre, I'm all out, mate.
Mate, that was awesome. Absolutely awesome. I was going to say, do you have a phone on you? Do you have a phone?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you call Cristiano Ronaldo, because that was a goal. You just scored a goal, a huge goal. So yeah, that was absolutely awesome. Like for me, I'm just going to sneak in. I can say Paul in the background. I'm just going to sneak in one quick question. Is like, say if you're working with a client and they are, they don't know their why. What do you have, like steps to help people find their why, or like your clients? So if they come to you, they're like, oh, I want to do something, but I'm not too sure, what I need to do. Or is it just like with the guys that are in like midlife? Does that question make sense? Or
yeah, often it's about, well, where do you want to be? So we sort of scene set it for 5 years time or 10 years time. What does success look like you for in 5 years? And for what reason does that message come alive to you? And who's connected to that message? Often a why isn't about individual. It's about what that means to other people, particularly if you've got kids or children. that why is a feeling of not serving the people that you've already brought into the world, and you feel a little bit or almost as though you've not fulfilled your purpose yet, particularly when you're in midlife and you feel as though your weeks are running out. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. All right, and just last one. Where can people find you? What's the best way?
So Facebook, Chris Midlife Men's Coach is a good way to find me. LinkedIn, you'll find me on LinkedIn as well under Chris Wilson. So yeah, that's the best way. Or you can just pop into my website, which is mid-life.men, and we share lots of resources. Our Friday 5 weekly podcasts. Yeah, there's a lot of value that we give to the community, just to make sure that you are as good as you can be as a midlife man.
Mr. Wilson, thank you very much for your time and just sharing gold and scoring that goal, and like everything that you're doing. We'll have to catch up soon.
Absolutely, and I've got a real legend coming behind me, PAULA Day, after this, and then I see Patrick Farnham's on the list later today. What a legendary lineup you've got. So if you're watching now, just keep watching, because there are some real servants of humanity out there ready to share some brilliant nuggets.
Yeah, it's been gold. All right, thanks, Chris. I will speak to you soon. You enjoy your weekend.
Keep it up, mate. Well done. Appreciate you.
All right, so this is I say this every time, it's probably getting a bit old for her now, but this is my favorite day of the week. Yes, it's PAULA Day.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm so excited. That was an amazing session by Chris. I've checked out some of the sessions today. Thanks for having me, Andre.
Oh, PAULA, no, thanks for coming on. And I know when I asked you, you were like, yep, straight away, like whatever I can do for Paul and Brett, and like, yeah, you understand. So just so much love for you as well. All right, I'm going to keep this short and sweet. So you're going to be talking about the move from what, corporate
to coaching businesses. So yeah,
I've made that move, and it's a bit tough because you don't really know what you're doing. You make the jump and it's like, okay, what do I do next?
Yeah,
massive shift. All right, I'm going to leave you to it, and I'll see you in a few minutes.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Dre. And if you're watching this, and perhaps you've been watching for a while, if you are online, type the comments in, because I can see them, so I can get my energy from that as well. But this is an amazing event to be a part of. So thank you so much. I'm so grateful to be here today to support some very special causes today for good friends Brett and for Paul, for their beautiful daughters. And look, as I said, I know firsthand what it's like to have a child with special needs, and to have to care for them as well, and to have them go through what they go through on a daily basis. It's not an easy thing to go through. So really, really grateful that I can be here today and do this class. So if you're joining in with me today as well on the live stream, make sure you follow along, you type in the chat, say hi. I'm going to be talking about transitioning from corporate to entrepreneur and opening that coaching business. So if that's you and you're thinking, gosh, I am at the moment in my corporate world job, and I've got an idea, or I've got a business idea, and I want to transition, or perhaps you're running it on the side like a side hustle at the moment. You're thinking, gosh, yeah, how do I stop being so busy and get all the way into my business? Or perhaps you've just made the leap and you're very aware of where people are coming from at this point, and perhaps you're still experiencing some of these things. So I'm going to go through that today. So follow along, ask any questions. We're going to cover all of those things today. So I'm going to cover off on the costly mistakes that I see people making all the time when they're moving from corporate to entrepreneur. So I don't want you to miss out on those mistakes. I'm going to go through the 3 key strategies that can really set you up for a successful transition as well. And we're going to map out that process too. So firstly, I want to tell you a little bit more about me, because some of you are on Dre's podcast right now and you're having a look at the live stream, and perhaps you don't even know who I am. So I want to share with you a little bit more about me, if that's okay, because you might be thinking, who is this girl here with this long blonde hair? How the hell did she get on Dre's show? And What is this joke he keeps on telling? So I'm Paula Day. Yes, I am the best day of the week. Thank you, Dre. And, and before I was here running my successful coaching business, I was in corporate, right? I was in corporate, climbing the corporate ladder and doing all of those things. And if I go back even further than that, you know, I started my career off as an accountant, right? And I climbed that corporate ladder really fast, and I ended up finding myself in really high roles in million and billion dollar sort of projects, those type of deals in and out of parliament and government. And so I had some business advisory roles at that sort of level, and it was busy and it was a lot of my time. But what I felt, and I don't know if you've had this before, or you're in that spot, type it in the chat, because what I felt like is every time I climbed that ladder higher, that they took more of my time. More of my time was gone, and I felt like I gave more and more and more to my job, to my career. And I was that kind of person who always wanted to help. Like, I really had a passion for helping people. But I had this, you know, I remember having a little picture on my desk of my kids, and because I never got to see them, right? I never got to see them. I would get up in the morning really early and get them ready for dropping off at childcare or dropping to my mum's, because childcare wasn't even open yet. So I could get to my meetings. And by the time I got home in the evening, it was just really getting them ready for bed. Right? And I know that a lot of people are going through this right now where you're thinking, gosh. So I thought, you know what, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way. And I want to help more people. And I tried to help more people in corporate, right? Because I was like, I want to help more people. So what did I do? I volunteered. I volunteered for everything. There's a project, I'll help. I'll help you. If there's a charity event, I was on all the charity events too. And I ended up giving a lot more of my time, because that's what I was trained to do, and that's what I knew how to do. I gave more and more and more of my time, and less of my time was being spent with those that I loved, my family. And I thought, you know, there's got to be a better way. Thinking, you know, there's got to be a better way to make income and also spend time like with my family, have the life that I really, really want and dream of. And so I started to think, oh gosh, what could I do? What could I do differently? Anyway, I remember listening to this podcast and I thought, you know what, I'm going to give it a go. I listened to this podcast on making t-shirts online. And I thought, you know, I'm just going to give this a go. I'm going to hire a coach. I'm going to get the right support. I got a coach in t-shirts, and but by the time I knew it, like a couple of months later, I had my t-shirts on the top 10 pages of Amazon. I was making money in my sleep. I'm like, yes, this is my thing. I am a t-shirt designer. Started hiring designers to help me. I was running the corporate job. I was running my t-shirt business. I'd wake up in the morning and I saw like money coming in. I thought, this is great. This is my ticket. I thought, you know, I'm really going to jump into this and I'm going to be a t-shirt business owner. And what I did, I know, it was awesome. So I thought, you know, I'm going to do this. And I thought, yeah, this is fantastic. But what I didn't see coming is something that really hit me flat in the face. And that was a relationship breakup. Now, for all the women out there who have not got themselves set up, and also men out there who don't have themselves set up, this is what happened. And I want to alert you to this. The company was in somebody else's name. Okay, so 7 months later, I still never got the company back, and I had to move on. So I found myself restarting again. It took me, you know, sort of 7 months to get myself back on my feet. And now I'm a single mum with my corporate job, without my t-shirt business, right? And I remember sitting there at my desk looking out over the city. It was a gorgeous view that I had from my office, looking over the city. It's like if I left that seat, someone was going to grab it. You know, it was such a great office seat. Looking at my team, amazing team, but it wasn't where I wanted to be. I'm like, I still don't have the time I want with my kids. And my kids are growing up and I'm missing out. I'm missing out on getting to go to their school functions. I'm missing out on all the things that they're doing because I'm here in this office. And everyone said to me, oh, it's not the right timing to leave. Don't leave now. Don't go now, right? And I don't know if anyone's had this before, or whether it's where it's just like the absolute worst timing to do something different. But I was so adamant. I was so Like I had this thought of a business and I thought, you know what? No, it's not there for no reason. It's not there for no reason. I hired another coach, I built this coaching business. And I'm so glad that I did it against all odds, right? It's like when everyone's around you saying, hey, sit pretty, like you're okay here. You're a single mom now, don't do it. I'm sure people have had this, right? Where that's the point I went, actually, no, I'm going to move forward. I'm going to do what feels right. I'm going to do what I feel like I want to do. Hired a coach and went all in. And it took me out of the mainstream, right? It took me out of the mainstream of just earning an income as an employee and into building this business up on the side. And when I was ready to move into it fully, right? And I'm sure that you've all had times in your life where you're like, oh gosh, it's the wrong timing. I can't do this because I feel like it's the wrong timing. But sometimes we've got to push through that. And I just felt like that whole, everything in me go towards that. Now, in corporate, you're going to have to do some pretty difficult roles. And, you know, your success is everything. And when you've built that success up and you've built up that reputation, you don't want to lose it. You know, you definitely don't want to lose it. And I had created that success in my career and I didn't want to lose it. So I was so worried about, what if I do this and what if I don't succeed? What if I do this and I fall flat on my face, right? So I wanted to make sure that when I was stepping into it, that I absolutely succeeded because I'd already built up a really great reputation. I wanted to be able to have a great reputation going into this and not fail, and also make more money and have more lifestyle freedom, you know, freedom to work around what I wanted to with my kids and my family and experiencing life, right? Experiencing life. So all of those things were coming up. Now, I'm going to go through some strategies on how to do that, but my mission is here because I see so many people really struggling with this, like just going trial and error, not really knowing what they're doing, wasting time, not knowing how to escape this and being stuck in this employee space and not being able to move into that business owner space where you can get the lifestyle and the freedom, right? And they end up being like this not able to get out. So often then you're spending a lot more time on your business and also working, and it's just like you've missed out on everything, right? And so this is where I see people give up. This is where I see a lot of coaches give up, actually, and a lot of entrepreneurs give up at the same time too, where you've half jumped and you've got the side hustle and you're spending now a lot of time in the side hustle, pushing and pushing and pushing, and it's not coming together for you. And so there you're never able to feel like you're ready to truly jump into it. And at the same time, you're missing out on all of life as well, and all the things with the kids or the family or whatever you wanted to do. So you want to get the most out of the effort that you put in. It's kind of like, you know, you probably had a leader or a manager in the past in your workplace where they've given you a lot of things to do and a lot of ideas, but unless they tell you what order to do them in, you're kind of a little bit unsure. Like you probably had someone like that before. If you're in the chat, type it in, right? You probably had someone like that before where you have to piece it all together. So you want to be able to piece it all together so you're not spending so much time trying to do all of that on your own, right? So the problems that I see out there in the corporate world is that you're not really sure how to get out of the corporate into your job, or you felt overworked, you feel really, really drained doing all the things, and every next level, just like what I said, is just more time, And I remember really clearly seeing someone retire when I was there, and I was like, oh gosh, they had put in all of their effort. They were just like me. They'd put in so much effort, so many extra hours, and given their all to the company. And when they retired, they had like an afternoon tea and barely anyone showed up. People showed up late because they were busy getting things done, and they left early because they had to go to a meeting or they were busy. This person who had put in everything couldn't even have someone show up for half an hour. And you know what? When I left the corporate space, we had like a virtual half an hour thing, and people showed up late and they left early. And it's not even their fault. It's not even that they don't care. It's just that they are busy in their own little world, right? And it doesn't really matter because it's just going to go on. So knowing that, I knew I had to make that step forward. And I know that some of you are in that space right now, giving your all, giving so much. And perhaps, you're frustrated with that. You're frustrated with the point that they don't understand that you might have a life outside of it. Maybe you're frustrated with the point that you only get 4 weeks holiday every single year, that you probably have to even negotiate with somebody else. And maybe this year you'll get Christmas, or maybe next year, or maybe there's 4 people in the team, and maybe in the 4th year you'll get Christmas holidays. You just, all of these things, when you're an entrepreneur, you get to make up your own rules. It's so much, it feels like you can just, relax those things. So look, I'm going to say up front here, if you want to know anything more about me, in the time that we have together, and you think, gosh, Paula, I want to speak to you more, I'm friendly. You can just reach out to me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, wherever you are. You're welcome to reach out to DM me or type below this and say hi. Let's talk about the 3 big problems that I see. So the 3 biggest problems that I see people experiencing are they forget their career experience. So they come into the coaching world, or they come in as an entrepreneur, and they think, I'm going to set up my business, I'm going to be a coach, and they start from scratch. They start from scratch. They forget actually all of the experience that they've had to date. They forget about all the career experience. They forget about everything they've done in life to this point. They start from absolute scratch, and they think, you know what, I need to understand coaching. I need another coaching certification. I need another certification. Or they start like a beginner in business. Even when they've had leadership experience, even when they've had managerial experience, even when they're really great at many different things or business experience, they start like a beginner. So that's one of the biggest things that I see. Don't start like a beginner. We never ever start like a beginner anywhere else in our lives. We go into a career, we go for a job, and you bring all of your experience with you. Like, I did this, and this. When you come into your business, you need to bring all of that with you as well, and utilize everything that you have. The second big problem that I see is we don't often establish that reliable income first. So people jump too early. They jump too early because they have not established the reliable income first. Now, they get so frustrated wanting to leave the corporate space, but then either can't set up the reliable income, don't know how to, or they jump too early thinking, you know what, I'm going to go Tony Robbins style. He says, go all in, burn the boats. I'm going to burn the boats. I'm going to jump in. And all of a sudden, they haven't got the income coming in every month, and it's hard. All right. So, we want to make sure that you leave the corporate space and move into your entrepreneurial journey when it's right for you. So you need to understand your quick figure. If you don't know what your quick figure is, or you don't even know what that means, then you need to understand that, right? You need to get an understanding of that. You need to go down the rabbit holes and understand what that would be for you, because it will be different for every single person. You may be close to retirement and thinking that actually I'll do this. I would hate to see people jumping into a coaching career only to do all of the admin when they could get paid more in their job to be able to pay someone to do those types of things. So you've got to think about these things. That you've got established some things before you move in, and you've got all of that set up. Or they treat it like a side hustle, as in they're always seeing their job as the main thing and then treating it like a side hustle. So therefore we never get the reliable income, because we're always seeing it as a little bit on the side, and we're not seeing it as the main thing we want to move into. And so we're not really putting the infrastructure in place to set that up for ourselves, right? We also see another big problem that I see, the third one that I see, is that we spend so much time and effort actually like putting the pieces together, and we think, oh gosh, we've got to put this piece together and this piece together and this piece together, and we can get very annoyed by how much time that actually takes us. So we can get annoyed, we can get upset about it. We can think, oh gosh, maybe I need this and maybe I need that. Or you might think that you know it all, or you're trying to put it all together. And what it looks like is the next 6 to 12 months looks like you trying to spend all your time piecing together the puzzle of business because you don't know how to put it together. And we don't want that to happen at all. Because if you're moving from the corporate space into a coaching business, you probably don't have a lot of time, right? You probably don't have a lot of time on your side. And if you've got kids and family and other activities that you're doing as well, you're probably thinking, well, how do I do this in the quickest amount of time? So you don't want to be wasting time trying to piece things together, right? You just can't, you don't have the time to do it. So let's look at some strategies now, some strategies to really set you up for some success. The first strategy there is you want to feel secure in the service that you can offer. Now, so many times I see coaches come in to their entrepreneurial journey. They've left their job, or it's still the side hustle, and they're setting it up and they're so excited, but they get so caught up in picking their niche, who they help. They get unsure about it, and so they never move forward past this sort of picking your niche and getting your messaging right. And they can, you know, make it really, really hard for themselves too in business by not picking the niche or trying to solve a really big problem that they don't know how to solve, or being incongruent in it, like they don't really know how to do it. Someone else is doing it, it makes sense, I'll try that. We need to really understand what it is that people are going to get if they come in with you and, you know, have the service in your business. If they come in and have coaching, what will they get? What pain point are you going to solve? You know, and is that industry that you're going into, is it growing? Is it, has it got paid clients? You know, is it an actual viable business to go into? And are you passionate about it? We don't think about these things. We've got to feel that security in what we offer. The second big strategy there is we want to have a reliable source of income coming in from the business every single month. A reliable source of income coming in. Once you've got a reliable source of income, then you're going to feel that reliability, right? So we want to have a system in place that's actually going to grow your business. If you don't have a system and you're unsure and you just really learned sort of like how to like maybe market and brand and maybe how to like chat to people, but you don't actually know how to put the systems in place to set up your business and have a clear a system of income coming in, then you can fall into this sort of category of being really frustrated, having highs and lows, feeling unsure, feeling like you're not really quite sure. And this is where it comes into play, where you really need to understand that quick figure. You really need to know like when you would jump fully into your business, and you need to be able to understand like how much money you're going to need to have coming into your life. Because for me, you know, mum of 5, I probably need to, you know, make sure I've got some, you know, money coming in for all the kids, right? I needed to make sure that I was set up for that. Now, other people might be on their own. You might need a completely different figure to what I needed. It depends on your lifestyle, depends on what you need, right? And the last thing that you need, the last strategy that you need is a clear process to follow that allows you to actually get your time back. I mean, the whole reason why we create these businesses, is for lifestyle and freedom. And sometimes that falls off the radar and we forget about it. And all of a sudden we're just so busy that we've actually created a job for ourselves and, you know, forgotten about the whole reason behind why we set this up in the first place. And that's probably to have more time to do the things that you want, to have freedom and to have, you know, build wealth into your future and for your family as well. And if that's you and you're sort of thinking, oh gosh, that's me, I've just created another job for myself and I've fallen into that trap, you know, think about where you're at. Think about, okay, hang on a minute. I've got to get these things aligned first to be able to leave the corporate space, or I've got a side hustle, I need to align these few things up, or perhaps you fully jumped in and you weren't quite ready. Well, then look at ways to make sure that you can set your systems up in a way that it's going to work for you. So I just want to check in if there's anyone in the audience right now listening live. Perhaps you're eating a dinner, like if you're here in Australia, you might be eating a dinner or preparing your dinner for your kids or whatever it is. I just want to check in, like what if you gain today from this message? Even if you're on the replay, what if you gain today from this message? Type it in the chat so we can capture this. You know, what did it make you feel? What did you get from it? You know, what were those key points that you got from showing up today on the key points on transitioning from corporate into your coaching business full time. I think we're almost at time. I can see there we've got like 3 minutes left. Hi, Dre.
Hey, Paula. Oh, no, you're so welcome. I was just wondering if you've got a bowling ball.
No.
You don't? Okay, because that was a strike. That was a strike. Paula, I've got a couple of questions. So,
Go for
two
your life.
questions. One is, how important is it to get a coach? And the reason that I'm saying that is because I think you know my journey into P1 and also my journey to PTP. It's I was like, no, I can do this all myself. I didn't know what I was doing because I'd come from corporate, and I jumped in. I was like, no, I can figure this out. You know, watching videos on YouTube, and I didn't really know what I was doing, but I just thought I could really just put up a couple of posts, and then the clients would just come flocking, and they were like, oh, Dre's what was I, career coach at the time? Dre's a career coach. All right, I'm going to go to. It didn't happen like that.
No.
So how important is it to get a coach?
Oh, look, I believe it's so important. And I must admit, for years, like if I go back to my corporate journey, for years I sat in the space of trying to do it all on my own, like build my career on my own. But when I really wanted to make the transition even into leadership, I looked at what those leaders ahead of me had, and I realized that every single one of them had a coach. And so that's when I started my journey of getting myself a coach, right? And then as I moved into the t-shirt business, what did I do? I got a coach. Like I didn't think that I could understand how to do it. I wanted someone who had been there and done it before, right? And she was brilliant. And then when I moved into coaching, what did I do? I got a coach. I've just continually got coaches along the way for where I've needed them on the journey. So important. So important.
I love that. Thank you. And very last question. How do you do it? How do you do it all? So you've got 5 kids, you've got a really successful business, yeah, you've got a partner. I don't know how you do it.
Leadership. Definitely leadership. Team, family. Johnny's amazing. Yeah. Plus leadership, my brilliant team. I couldn't do it without them.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you, Paula. Any last words before we go?
I just want to shout out and say big thank you. Also, happy birthday. And yeah, like really, this is an amazing event, and I hope that you know, people are donating. It's for a really good cause. I you know, it's so hard to watch your children go through difficulties, and also it's really hard to be the carer as well.
Paula, thank you so much for everything that you do, like coming on today, like your time, like the value, some great strategies, and also seeing the mistakes that people make from court. I could resonate big time. Absolutely. Yeah. So thank you for being you, for being amazing. And you are always going to be my best day of the week.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right. See you soon. Bye. All right, so that was the wonderful, sensational Paula Day. And next up, we've got Beck Nicole. I'm going to get Beck straight out here. And Beck is actually on holiday. And the awkward thing is, I didn't get an invite. This is really awkward. So I checked my, MSN, like Messenger, my MySpace. I even checked the post box, but there was nothing at all. So let's get Beck out here and just ask her what's going on. Hey, Missy, where's my invite?
The problem is you're checking MSN. Didn't that happen? Didn't that die in like the 1980s? Posting your invite was clearly through Facebook Messenger.
I checked everywhere. That's what I was trying to say.
No.
Anyway, how are you, and whereabouts in the world are you?
I'm in Sweden right now. It is in the morning. It's 10 a.m. in the morning in Sweden. So it's like it's interesting connecting with some clients just before this call. And, you know, so some of my clients are in Australia, some are in America, some are in Europe. So being in Europe myself now is, it's interesting. So I'm so excited to be here. It's such a cool thing to come on and to be here with you today. And I'm actually going to play a game with you guys. So it's not just a class. We're going to be playing a game.
Okay. All right. So I will leave you to it. Just give us a shout if you need me. Do you need any slides or anything like that, or?
No, I'm going to keep it simple. I'm just going to let everyone who's, watching just experience me. I've got, as you guys know, I'm traveling, so screen shares and whatnot aren't my technical advance right now when I'm working from my laptop and a few different things. So I've got my little iPad here for some notes, but otherwise, just let's have some fun, hey?
All right, let's do it. All right, I'll see you in a bit.
Beautiful. So, hey guys, I am NICOLE and I'm a business and a mindset coach, and I help yoga teachers, healers, and new coaches hit 5K months. And what I'm going to share with you today is actually something that I personally implemented many years ago to sign my very first 2K coaching client. And this is what I was saying to Dre a moment ago. I'm actually here and I want to actually play a game. So if you can start with the premise that you're not here just listening to me, if you can think that you and I right now, if you're watching, if we can play a game. So I'm going to be sharing with you some information, but if we can get into the energy, because we're talking about magic money, right? So if we think about magic, it's fun, it's entertaining, it seems a little bit like out of this world. So magic money, we want to start with the premise that we're playing a game. We want to come into that kind of energy field of like a child. Like this isn't so serious, right? So magic money. So I said, this is what I'm going to share with you today. And I also want to talk about why you should be playing with magic, yeah? And how to tap into your magic powers. So what is magic money? So magic money is the connection, the alignment, and the creation of the vibration of the money that you desire. I know that's a bit of a mouthful. Stay with me here. So connection. The first thing is you need to actually make a decision, like how much money do you want to make in your business? It's the first point. How much money? Okay, yes, love it. Dre's got it in there, connection. Okay, so connection, how much money do you want to make? Get really clear. Is it 5K a month? Is it 10K a month? Is it $1 million a year? You need to decide within yourself how much money you want to make, and you need to declare it. So not just like, oh, maybe this, maybe that, like make a decision right now within yourself. I want to make 5K months. I want to make 10K months. And when you declare it, say it out loud or write it on a pen and paper. I've got a digital pen here, so I'm just like thinking about the advanced ways we can declare things these days. So if you're watching and you're here, write it in the chats, declare how much money you want to make. I know that Dre has goals. I'm happy for him to also drop his in, but make a declaration of how much money you want to make. You can write it down, say it verbally, or even tell someone. So this is really cool. Last year for our 20K months, yes, that's where it's at. For our Christmas party, actually, for the Point One program that Dre and I are also in, and also Paula and everyone that pretty much is in this space, I went live and I made a declaration last year that I wanted to hit 250K, $250,000 in my business on my Facebook profile live. So I made a declaration, yeah? So first one, connection, declare how much money you want to make. Okay, so next thing is alignment. Alignment, all right? So the alignment is, how would it make you feel to have that money? How would it make you feel? So what are you doing? How is your life different? What are you, who are you spending time with? How is the money that you're making changing your life? And I want you to get into the feeling of that, yeah? Are you feeling like more abundant? Are you feeling more alive? Are you feeling more alert? Are you spending time more with your family? Are you making more of an impact? Like really get into the sense of this and how are you feeling? Because the basis of the feeling of money is freedom, yeah? So what is freedom for you? Is it more choices? Is it traveling? Is it actually serving more people? So the alignment is really coming into the feeling, super important. So how do you feel? So even take yourself out into the future, 12 months from now. How does that feel, right? So that's the next one. Okay, so next is creation. So creation, this is the most important part of this, because we are all conscious creators. Some of us know it, some of us don't, but even when you don't know it, you are creating your life. But creation is the belief that what you want, what you've declared, is possible. And it's possible because you have something to offer. You have a service, you have a skill that is going to actually help someone change their lives. So the creation is the belief that it's possible. You need to believe. If you don't believe that it's possible, you're denying yourself what you've already declared. So believe, believe, believe. And you can believe that because you know that you have a gift. You know that you have a skill. You know that you have a service that can actually help people change their lives. Yeah. So again, we've got connection, alignment, and creation. Now you have these three things. Play the game with me here. Remember, it's not serious. I want you to release control of it. Release it. Yeah. So just like when we plant a seed to grow a tree, we can have the seed and put it in the ground, make sure that you've got the right soil, water it, let the sun come, but you're actually releasing control. So when it comes to magic money, we have these intentions. We declare what we want. We feel how it would make us feel. We believe it's possible and release control. So super, super important to release control, because when you're playing and when you're having fun, think about like little kids that play a game and they're just in the moment, and they get the rules change, and then they're doing this and then they're doing that. They're not concerned about the outcome. When you're really little, you're just having fun. So I want you to release control. Because when you release control, this is actually the vibration of your magic money. Yeah, this is the vibration. It should feel good. It should feel fun. It should feel like you're playing a game. Because when you're not and you're trying to control, that'd be like checking the seed and looking in the ground, like, is it growing? I'm not sure if it's growing. I'll put the dirt back over it and check it again and check it again. And when we control too much, we actually stop the process of creation, and we're not having fun, and we start to worry and we start to stress. So release control, stay in the vibration of the fun. Yeah. All right. I'm shooting through this kind of quick because I know we've got these really hot sessions, and I want to make this a bit of, I was going to say an hour of power, but usually I would teach this in an hour. So I'm doing it super, super quick for you guys. Okay. So why should you be playing with magic? Because all change occurs in the subconscious mind. So to access the subconscious mind, this is where the magic is. This is where our magic is. Now, we have our conscious mind. We have the mind that's like 1 + 1 is 2, facts and figures, the sky is blue and trees are green. But all the magic is actually in the foundations of what we truly believe, which is in our subconscious mind. And these beliefs, these ideas, these things that we hold deep within ourselves are created generally from when we're quite young, from when we're children, from the age of 4 or 5 all the way through to about 7. We create these beliefs. And if at the moment you have this belief that I'm not a $1 million coach, or I'm not a 5K a month yoga teacher, or I can't do 10K a month, if you're basing your desires off your current beliefs of what is true, what the conscious mind is telling you, we're blocking ourselves. So we need to bypass the conscious mind and go into the subconscious. And we do that, as I said at the beginning, by playing a game. Yeah. So just play the game. I want you to have fun. I want you to realize that you do have magic powers. We've been playing this game our whole life. We've just forgotten. And we got really serious. And it's like, my name's Beck and I do this and I do that. And I forgot that I'm playing a game, the game of life. So if we want to access the subconscious mind, the quickest way to do that is by playing a game, because the subconscious mind is like a 4-year-old child. And a 4-year-old child believes in Santa, believes it can do this, and it believes in fairies. It doesn't question it. It just plays the game, right? Anything's possible. So when we allow ourselves to drop into that playful fun, I can have this, I can do this, I can be this, I can attract this money, I can create this money, through my offerings, through my service. And again, I release control. I'm playing the game. Okay, so this is how we tap into our magic powers. We want to get into that subconscious mind. We don't want to be stuck up here like, I don't know how it's going to happen and how will this, and I'm trying to control. With all the control is here. So that's why we release control. We leave the tree to grow and we watch this beautiful tree come to life, and we get excited about it growing and bearing fruit. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to playing a game here, guys, playing a game. So I want to ask you guys, just for now, just for this class, and maybe, you know, maybe for the next couple of days, can you play a game with yourself? Can you have fun? Can you allow yourself to release control and get into the connection of your magic powers? Yes, Dre, that's where it's at. You can do it. Okay, so how to tap into your magic powers. So you've made a decision. You want to make Dre's like 20K months. It's where it's at. Like, I'm down for that. Definitely. Let's like make that declaration. So you know what you want to make. You've made a declaration. You know how it feels. It feels amazing. Oh my God, it feels amazing. And it feels free. I have choices. I have opportunities. I'm serving. I'm making an impact. I'm changing lives. And the ripple effect is amazing. It feels so good. And I believe it's possible, right? I believe it's possible. Yeah, I'm tapping into that subconscious mind because I'm releasing control. It's a game. We're here to have fun. Can we all do that? Because if you guys are with me right now, I want to take you on a little bit more of a journey. Someone on Facebook, hey, amazing, Beck. I actually can't see who it is, but I'm here with you. And if you're in the space to do so, I would love for you to actually take a little journey with me. I'm just checking out time. We've got time. As long as you're not driving a car and you're in a safe place, I'd love for you to take a little journey with me inside your mind. So if you can, I want you to take a nice deep breath in. Just let it go. Release control. Take another breath in. Let it go. And take another breath in. On the next breath out, I want you to close down your eyes. So just close down your eyes. Let yourself go within. Let yourself feel into your body. Let your shoulders relax away from your ears. Relax maybe the tension in your jaw and around your eyes. And just get really comfortable in the seat that you're in and connect to your magic. I want you to relax a little bit more and just notice your breath as you breathe in and breathe out. Connecting to this inner world, this inner magic where the creation of life is beyond the conscious mind, connecting to your superpowers. And I want you to imagine a year's time from now where you're making those 5K months, 10K months, 20K months, $1 million a year. And I want you to feel how good it feels to be making that money. I want you to see the look on the faces around you. Maybe it's your clients and they're happier and they're lighter and they're more free. Maybe you're helping your clients make more money or heal. Yeah. I want you to see what it looks like to be making that money and feel how it feels to be having that change in your life. Yeah. I want you to connect deeper and deeper to that alignment of making that money. And I want you to stay connected to this inner world. I want you to keep your eyes closed, and I want you just to come back to your breath and breathing in, breathing out, just relaxing, just going deeper and deeper into your inner world. Just keep connecting to the more that you connect with the money that you desire, this magic money, this play, the more that your life can expand, the more of an impact that you can make, the more lives that you can change, and how good it feels to be playing with magic, to be making money, to making an impact, to declare within yourself right now that this little game that we've played is always accessible because it's the game of life. And you deserve to have it all. You deserve the abundance. Just all, like each of one of your clients deserve the abundance that you, each and every one of you desire. Declare it, feel it, believe it, and release from it. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. So this little exercise, it actually reminds me of a beautiful, beautiful woman that just come into my space only a few weeks ago, actually. She just finished my 5-day Clarity to Clients challenge. It was a couple of weeks ago now. And she was working a full-time job. She's a yoga teacher, and she really wanted to, make more money from her yoga business. She wanted to be making $500 a week from her yoga business, separate to her full-time job. But the thing is, she was lacking the belief. She was lacking the belief in herself and the lack of worth in what she offered. She was blocking her vibration to the money that she desired. Now, just by working on and implementing the things that we've gone through today, you and I playing this little game, believing it's possible, declaring that she wanted to make $500 a week, that she believed that she was worth it, that it was possible, that she had something to offer that was valuable. Within a few short weeks, just a couple of weeks, she attracted 6 new clients into her business and made that $500. Now, for some of you, $500 is where it's at. For some of us, it's 20K. If it's 500, if it's 20K, it's the same method. And now her whole life has changed because it's not about the money. It's about the people that she's serving, and it's about herself, because now she actually has tapped into her own magic powers. Now she believes even more that it's possible. Now she's more excited. Now her whole magic money vibration is actually amplified, and now she's thinking bigger. She's like, oh, 2 weeks, $500, 6 clients, what's next? Yeah, just by doing what we've done today. So play the game, utilize this little technique, implement it into your life, call in that money, call in that alignment, feel the feeling of the magic of the powers within you, and release from it. Now, I've gonna jump in. I know that we've got Facebook people watching. I don't know who they are. I know that you're out there. I'm connecting with you guys. I can only see that it's Facebook user, but I wanted just to ask if anyone is watching and if they've got any questions at all about, this little process or anything that, maybe I've shared that you're wanting to know more information of, please type it into the chat screen. I'm not sure if, again, Dre has any his little magical powers that he can help with to bring up questions or anything. But if anyone is watching, please let me know if you do have any questions. I'd be more than happy to help out, to let you, to tap into that magic a little bit more. And again, if you're interested as well, I have a little free gift for you guys as well. If you're wanting a little bit more help to access that subconscious mind, I can also help out with that if you want a free gift. It's on me.
Awesome, Beck. Just wondering if you've got your phone with you.
Oh, I want a joke. I do. Tell me the joke. I was like, okay, go for it. Go for it.
No, I was going to say, because you should call the postman and tell him you've just delivered.
I did.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, it's actually closing my eyes. You've got really hypnotic. I was like, oh, am I going in a trance? I was like, I need to wake up. I need to wake up. Yeah, it's awesome. So what I was going to say, the last, point number 4, what was that? That was the control, let go of control.
Yeah.
That's something that I struggle with. I love the way that you gave the analogy of the, you've planted some seeds and then, you look, is it? Oh no, okay, it's still growing. Then you put it back, and then, I guess my struggle is say I've got a big goal or a goal, and then it's obviously you need to work for the goal.
Yeah.
But then it's because some people, maybe I've got it in the wrong context, were just let things come to you. It'll just come, and then others no, you need to work really hard. You need to do everything that you possibly can. What's your take on that?
It's definitely both. I just got off the call with a client of mine who we were talking about this exact topic, and how it's both and it's not one or the other, because she's actually a real estate agent, and she's wanting to get more listings, and there's a certain amount of action she can take with that. But we were working on this internal part because this is the thing that you've got control over. When you can't control the outside, you can continuously control your internal environment and your own vibration. Now, when we really want something and we're like, I really want to make money and I've got bills to pay and I want to check the seed. Is it growing? I need fruit. I need to eat. Now, when there's the facts of life, we can't deny them, but we can also focus on what is working. So if we're wanting to create something like bringing in more money, this magic money, and maybe you've got some blocks because you're like freaking out about money, focus on what in your life is working. So have you just started a new relationship? And if it has, isn't that amazing? How did you call it in? And it just started, and you get into that, that juicy vibration of that relationship, or maybe you've started dating, or maybe things are going really well with your kids, or you've started exercising. Get into the vibration of what you've already created in another area of your life where you did release control and it is working, and activate it in that way. Because once you start to change your internal vibration, and once you're actually in that feeling of like, oh yeah, anything is possible. I did just call in that new relationship. Things with my kids are amazing. I am more fit. I am more amazing. And then you apply this strategy, you're actually in this expansive state of being, and you're not in the fight or flight, scared, stressed. I don't know if it's going to happen, because from that place, we're not actually able to utilize this process. And that's why I said at the beginning, let's play a game. Let's just play a game. No matter what's going on, let's just play a game. Let's have a bit of fun. Because if we just pretend, we're not like taking it seriously, we're straight away navigating into that place. So again, if you're in that stressful, like, I'm not sure if I can, create the money that I want, to been trying for so long. It's like, well, you've probably been trying for so long. It's like, oh God, I want to make it happen. So it's like, shift the focus, do something that, you're already doing that's helping you, be expansive, and then implement this little, process that I've just shared with you guys.
I love the process. All right. And the question in relation to your clients, what are the sort of common patterns that you see in regards to the problems that they have, or that come to you with?
Great question. So one of the things is actually similar to what you said a moment ago, is like the desire and just like wanting it to come to you versus taking action. And what I find in the space, the realm that I'm in, is like, there are sometimes there's a common theme of like, oh, I want 10K months, or I want, this much money. And there's like 80 or 90% energy on like law of attraction, and then like only 20% of the actual action. And so it's so important to actually do and have the balance of both. And sometimes we can go too far on the action, like Dre, you're like doing all the things. So it's like, we have to check in and be like, okay, am I taking all the action that I can take that's reasonable for me to look after myself? And I'm giving myself the right amount of time to focus on what I want and my internal vibration. So it's both. So that's a really important one, because and again, as I said, there's the flip side. It's like someone can come to me and be like, I'm taking action, but they're so practical. They're like, oh no, that's not possible. Oh, I couldn't do that. And they're not allowing themselves to go into that belief stage. So it's definitely the balance of, believing in what you're feeling, and also the action, because probably the belief is the biggest one. To be honest, when people are starting out, when you're new in business, if you're, the clients that are coming to my space that are looking to start to hit 5K months, typically they are kind of relatively new to business. And therefore the belief isn't necessarily that solidified, because we believe more once we get some external evidence. You've been working out at the gym for a few months, and then you finally start to see some results, and you're like, oh, now you believe it more, right? So we do need to start with the internal, but as time goes on and we create more success and we make more money, I start to believe it even more now. But in the beginning, we do have to have that more faith. We have to put the seed in the ground and just believe that by me watering it, by me leaving it alone, by me trusting that nature has the power to grow this tree, it will be enough. I think that's something that I come across, and it's that leap of faith. And sometimes it's believing in me as a coach. Sometimes it's, my clients actually coming to me and I say, listen, I know you're not sure, but can you borrow my certainty so I can help you get to that stage? And this is what this beautiful client of mine, who I just shared a moment ago, that's exactly what she did. She was like, I'm going to lean on your certainty and your belief. And within 2 weeks, and now she's like, oh my God. And it's freaking amazing. So yeah, it's amazing. Faith Faith it until you
Yeah.
make it. I love that. I love that.
All right. So do you have any like challenges coming up? Like how can people work with you? How can they contact you?
Yeah, definitely. So definitely Facebook. So you can just, Facebook friend me, send me a DM. But I do have, as I said a moment ago, my 5-day challenge that I run is in August 22nd. It's Clarity to Clients. So if you're a yoga teacher, a healer, or even a new coach, this is the challenge for you. It's 5 days. It's amazing. It'll change so much of your life. And I've got a little sneaky masterclass that actually I'm hosting. It's an extended version of this. Over a week's time, but it's kind of exclusive to those who are interested in my 5-day challenge. So if you're interested in either of those, send me a DM, and I can also send you a little free gift as well.
Okay, I love that. And is that for men and women, or just women, or?
It is just for women. I do have a few sneaky men client that I do work with one-on-ones, but the space is for women. So at this stage, yeah, for all my goddesses out there, this is for you.
Awesome. All right, very last question. So I think you know that I love dad jokes. So do you have a dad joke, a quote, something inspirational, something motivational, something empowering, something of value that you'd like to leave us with today?
Beautiful. I would love to. So for everyone out there watching, Dre, all the people who are watching the replay, this is your life. It is. You've got to realize it is your life, and it is a bit of a game. So you can make excuses about what you want, or you can make it happen.
Boom, shake the room. Do you have like a tennis racket there? Yeah, because you smashed it. Absolutely smashed it. Beck, like, love you like to bits, everything that you do. Thank you, like on your holiday. What's the weather like in Sweden?
It's the Australian winter over here. It's summer here, but it's like the Australian, so it's same but different. But I'm off to Germany next week and then Spain after that. So some cool things happening. And happy birthday for Sunday, I believe. It's Sunday, yeah.
How'd you know it was my birthday? I was trying to keep it a big secret.
Oh yeah, I know, right? So discreet. Oh, if I had time, I would have sang happy birthday to you, but I'll sing your message later.
Yeah, appreciate that. All right, you go, be amazing. You enjoy your holiday, be safe, have fun, and thank you for giving up your time and donating and contributing like today.
My pleasure. Ciao.
All right. See you, legend. Bye. All right, so that was Beck Nicole. Now I've got the main man. Oh, I love this guy because he is really switched on, and he's helped me as well. But he sends me dad jokes, and they're absolutely hilarious. So I want to give a big warm welcome to LYMANN Pritchard. Hey, you got a spoil for me.
You love it, mate. Just for you. Just for you.
I love it. How are you?
Have you ever seen me in a bow tie before, mate? Probably not.
No. All right. So today you're going to be like talking us through like automation, and I love it whenever I do, something similar to this. You're always giving me like tips and advice just to make things. I feel like I do things the long way round, and I know that you could do things like so much quicker. So I'm really interested. I'm going to be watching with open eyes, open ears, and you happy for me to leave you to it? Do you need like slides or anything, or you're good to go?
No slides. Happy for engagement with you though, mate. I'm going to ask you a question. Is that all right?
Oh my gosh, yeah. All right, yeah.
Like business automation, right? Everyone's doing a good job, right? And when I talk to people, I talk to coaches like yourself, they don't know what they don't know. It's kind of like when I ask questions, hey, where can we automate your business? What are your pain points? Where are you wasting your time? All those sort of things. They're like, they can tell me where they're spending time. They're just not sure if they're wasting their time or that's the most efficient use of their time.
Yeah, I think for me, I need better systems and processes and things to be sort of streamlined like in the back end.
Yeah, exactly. So for those who don't know me, I'm LYMANN. I'll put my name up in a second, or Dre will have it there on the screen, so you know how to spell it and know how to find me. But I've been spending the last sort of 10 to 15 years in technology. in automation, in all that sort of stuff. So I started out probably 10 years ago now doing business consulting, automation, contracting, all those sort of things for big corporates. And you learn how to do things at scale, and you learn how to find efficiencies. So the reason I'm wearing the dorky bow tie today is because I want to own my geekness. I want to own my automation, because I help coaches and entrepreneurs to automate their business. I find that entrepreneurship is really hard. For those coaches out there, my hat goes off to you every day, because your to-do list is so long. There's so much to do all the time. And where do you spend your time, and how do you decide it? And probably more importantly, do you know where you're spending your time? So today, there's so many tools out there. There's so much tech. And guess what? The advice I give you today will likely be different in a few months. Because there's always new technology. There's always new apps. There's always new software. If you scroll through your Facebook, Google things, it's always different. And even if you go, hey, what's the top 20 apps for business automation this year, 2021 versus 2022, there's going to be a few top players that are out there, but most of them have changed. And when I speak to coaches, they're like, well, just give me the answer. Just tell me what tool to use. But the truth is, it depends where your business is at. Depends how much you're willing to spend. Depends how quickly you want to scale your business. So find me on Facebook. Ask me a question on Facebook. Just reach out to me if you got a question around, hey, what's the best CRM to use? What's the best email client to use? What's the best calendar to use? What's the best way to automate my business? Because there's so many different tools out there. I'm happy to help. And I'm going to do in my private Facebook group a video once a week with a Q&A to help you. But today, what I found was I could talk to you about tools. I could talk to you about automation. And I'd be speaking without really knowing your circumstance. So I was thinking, how can I serve the audience the best today? And after speaking to a number of coaches, what's everyone doing these days? They're doing challenges, right? Challenges. Drop it like it's hot. Like everyone is doing challenges. So there's still some webinars going on. There's still some masterclasses going on. And if you've got an online program and it's just online, definitely think about continuing those. But most coaches are doing masterclasses because you're able to prove your worth in them. People can come along for free or a small fee or a small donation and find out a bit more about you, what you're about, and whether you got the goods, right? Like there's so much phony stuff out there. There's so much stuff out online, and it's hard to know who to trust. So today I wanted to serve your audience, Dre, by talking about the 10 tips to running a successful challenge. And then I can tell you about the automation part of it as well. Because what I find at the moment, the only way to learn about doing a challenge is to do a challenge. There's no way of getting around it. You just have to do it to learn. So where are my markers? We'll get into it. So running a challenge. Number one, if you don't plan, you plan to fail. It's critical to planning. You're like, well, how much should I plan? How often should I run these things? Normally, a good campaign is a 2-week lead up to your challenge and a 1-week post challenge. So you might run your your 5-day challenge, your 7-day challenge, there's 10-day challenges going out there. To keep them warm, to keep them fresh, run it 2 weeks leading up. And to be honest, lead up, warming up your leads and keeping them hot throughout, and then capturing the people that escape either throughout the challenge or at the end after to book a call or whatever your outcome is. That's the part that you can automate. But 2 week lead up, you should treat this like you were a marketing agency and you're like, okay, how do I want to speak to these people 2 weeks leading up to the challenge? How do I want to speak to them a week out? And how do I engage people to bring them in, even if they're 2 days out or 2 weeks out? Because someone who says, yes, I'm keen 2 weeks in advance, so someone who's keen 2 days in advance of your challenge, the headspace is going to be very different. So you need to make sure you're speaking to them in a different way. The second is, and do love my spelling and my writing, outcome. You've got to be really clear on what your outcome is. You really want to provide value, but the best way you can serve them is to know exactly what your outcome is and know what their outcome is. Is it just a call? Is it to sign up to a program? Be really clear on what you're actually asking and looking for. One thing that we all think we do really well, but most of us suck at, is communicate. So come along. I think Veronica Bennett, look her up. She's doing an NLP challenge. Communication is key. And when I say communicate, people are like, yeah, I do. I tell them. But what I've learned is you've got to over communicate. I can tell you the experience of Dre running this event. My hat goes off to you, mate. 3 days. There's a lot to coordinate and there's a lot to communicate. And every time you think you've over communicated, I guarantee you there's a number of people that will ask the question that you've already communicated. And you're like, well, I already put that in. I already put that in the chat. I already put it in the Facebook group. I already put that out there. You've got to do it multiple times. And here's the kicker that most people don't think about. Multiple methods. Do a video for those people who just love watching videos and are really visual. Do audio. Write it down. Most people just go, hey, I'll just type it in the chat. I'll just type it somewhere. I've done it once. It's done. No, do it in different methods over multiple frequencies. So over communicate is the key there. Number 4, we all focus on this one. Nearly got there. Over deliver. And everyone's like, yes, that is my jam. That's what I focus on. Over delivering. You got to over deliver on content? No. The number one thing every person who runs a challenge learns after probably 2, they're giving too much content. They're focusing too much on giving heaps of value. And that's awesome. You do want to serve your people. You do want to serve your clients. You do want to give heaps of value. But you'll probably find that you need to cut it down by 2/3. When I say that to people, they go, well, hang on, but they're going to be walking away with nothing. But the more you can interact with them, the more you can ask questions, the more you can understand their models of the world, the more you can have breakthroughs, more you can understand their pain points, what solutions you can have for them, and less about PowerPoints and slides and everything else, the better you'll be. I guarantee you. Just that one you've got to trust me on. It seems counterintuitive because you want to provide heaps of value, but it is the truth. Don't wait. Don't wait until the end to sell. And you're not there to sell. I know you're there to provide value. But don't wait until the last day, the last section to say, hey, here's how we can work together. Here's the value that I can provide. Give them little snippets throughout. Allow them to go on a date with you and don't wait till the end. That one's key. And here's the other counterintuitive one. I'm going to see if I've got enough room. Yep. Reject. Encourage people to drop off your challenge. Show them there that you're here to serve them. But if they're not showing up, if they're not doing the homework, if they're not making commitments to you, treat it like a relationship. How people in relationships treat you is how you let them. You train your partner how to treat you. And don't reject them. It doesn't have to be harsh. It doesn't have to be really bad. But you need to go, cool, you're getting out. Sorry if you haven't done the homework. Thank you. But come to the next challenge when you're really committed, because you only want committed clients. You only want committed people working with you. Do give them a warning though. Let's do that one first. Next one. No one's doing this right now, or very few. Landing pages. Yes, I'm the automation guy. I'm the tech guy. I can build automation, landing pages, all that sort of stuff for you. People build landing pages for lead magnets, but they don't think about it for their challenge. Build a landing page for registration. Collect the details. Build a landing page so it's a central point for people to come to, even if you've got a Facebook group. Don't drop a Zoom link in your Facebook group. Send them out to the landing page. You can collect that data. This data is key for everything. Know your metrics, know who's clicking through, know who's attending. Create a landing page where you can collect their data and they have to click on that link to go to your Zoom or webinar or whatever you use, because you know who's clicking, you know who's there. Number 8. Mate, got to do this one in Australia, right? Bring a mate. This could be another coach. Find a support network. Find a buddy. Find someone to come in to hype up the group. Because they don't know they're your mate, right? You don't make it obvious. But when someone else is really engaging and it's not you, it encourages other people that this is a safe space that I can engage. And if you're like getting crickets asking questions, guess what? Your mate's always going to save you, right? He's always going to chime in if you need to. Now tell him to hold space, let other people contribute, have a different word or something that you're like, hey, I need you to chime in here. But bring a mate. And also, if I could say bring a mate, but the ideal scenario is bring another coach, bring another person in your industry, because they can contribute, but they can also give you feedback. And that's key. Number 9. Workbook. Have a fancy workbook. Doesn't matter if people look at it or not. Have a nice cover. And in your workbook, make it lengthy. Make it appear like it's a lot. But don't give them all the information. It's a big mistake to just build a workbook. They can download it and pretty much get what you're going to deliver anyway. Give them enough, but leave spaces. So if you're doing the, do a page with a triangle on it. And have maybe one word. Have your campaign. Have open loops. Because people will tend to go, oh, hang on, now I can fill in. We all like to fill in we like to close the loop. We like to fill in the detail. And the last thing is, what do you expect from the business automation guy? Automate. This is a very repeatable process. The good thing where automation really works is if you're doing the same thing over and over again. This is about emails that 2 weeks out, they get one. They get another one a week out. They get another one 4 days out. They get another one 3 days out. Little teasers. Like imagine if you were going to an event, a play, your favorite band, whatever it is, Tony Robbins. Give them little teasers leading up. You can even provide little videos, little bits of content that's going to encourage them to come along. Because what I find is every coach can get a blast of, 50 people who might want to register and come along, they find that maybe 10 come along, or maybe 5 are there live, and the rest watch the replay. If you keep them warm throughout, if you keep them engaged throughout, if you keep giving them content throughout, I guarantee you'll increase your conversion on people attending, which will increase your conversion into that call or the outcome that you're looking for. What do you think, Dre?
Love it. Absolutely love it.
How much more time do I have, mate?
Oh, mate, you are about 10 minutes. Like, you can keep going.
Tell me what'd you learn? What'd you go to the bathroom?
So like similar to like this event here. So I'm someone that's I've got like big visions, and it's like, want to save the world. All right, how are you going to get there? Probably going to do a couple of things, but like with the detail, yeah, I'm not very big on detail. I just like to just do things, just do it. So yeah, I know that planning's important, and I don't plan as much as I should do. So I just want to get things done. Outcome, was that outcome? Knowing your outcome?
Yeah, there's plan, outcome, over communicate. I think you'll have a little chuckle when we talk about that one. Tell me about communication over communicating.
With your message yesterday, because I've just got the Facebook group, and I just thought, everything's going to be all right. Just drop the links, and then I've seen the questions like yesterday and today, and you're right. Even though I've done it, it's the same questions. People are asking the same sort of questions. So a couple of people sent me a message last night and today just saying, you should have opened maybe a Facebook group. So put all the information in there so people can refer to the group. And it's in like 2 places, and then keep the group at a minimum because there's lots of messages going on. Over in delivering. So when I first started doing challenges, I was like, I just want them to have everything. It's basically like a program, in a couple of days. And it's just too much. It's information overload. What's the next one that you've got over there?
We've got don't wait. So don't wait till the end to sell.
Yeah.
Got to be seeding, got to be doing things throughout.
Definitely. And the one, I'm going to make this bigger so I can see.
Reject them, mate. Reject them.
Yes.
If you're not contributing, if you're not showing up, thanks. Come to the next one. Appreciate you. I'm not here to chase you.
Yeah, because as you were saying before, you want people to be there because you want them to be there. Love the land
that I didn't know, and I've learned this from other coaches. I'll be honest with you. The conversion rate of the people you kick out and the people don't rock up is really high because they felt like they missed out. So if the object of your challenge is to get them on a call, still booking a call with those people.
Yeah.
Don't reject in a way that makes them feel unwanted, but let them know if they're not committed, that's cool. Let's book a call. What's coming up for you? Why weren't you committed?
And where I book most of my calls is in that follow-up. It's it's in the follow-up. So it's not the people that book a call straight away. And then the landing pages, I love that one because I know that Alex uses that, and he's had really high. He's been killing it the last couple of months, and he's got a landing page, and he uses that process, and he's collecting all the data, the data.
Exactly.
And then the mates that is so important because I remember running challenges last year, and then it's just me, just a group of people. And then you're just trying to get that energy, that hype, and it's really difficult to a cold audience with people that don't really know you.
Can I wrap you up in a second and go workbook, make it pretty, everyone loves it, and automation is the key to everything. But I was thinking, Joe, have I got a minute or two?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
I was thinking about Dre. Who isn't thinking about Dre, right? You get up in the morning, you check your story, and what happens? What happens? What's the first thing you hear? Boom!
Boom.
How much have I heard that? And I was thinking, like, boom, right? Organic.
Mm.
Organic boom traffic. Feel free to steal this one, Dre. It's getting
I'm
handed over.
stealing it. I'm like, where is
You
this
know this
going? This
one?
is amazing. No, I don't.
Buy. To those who buy from you through traffic, let's call this Facebook ads. You know, we know we're doing organic lead generation. We know that's the way to push all your energy out to, but there is also leads that you can buy. And one thing I'll say, when you start to work with someone like me in automation and collecting a lot of data, what you can get through your ads and your landing pages and linking that all together, you'll actually know who's a hot lead and who's not a hot lead, who's a warm lead, who's a cold lead. Because right now you're just kind of treating everyone as high priority, right? If you know your data, you'll know who to approach like that. Oh, that texter. Not loving it. Own. You've got to own your data. Have active campaign. Have a CRM system so you know who they are. You've got to own that data so you can treat them with respect. Treat them where they're at on their journey. Ask them some questions. Know where they're at. The one we all always love. Yes, there's traffic, there's buying, but there's also organic. And when I say organic, the difference with this type of lead traffic is, no, they're the people you're solving a problem for you. Like, the way you pitch out an ad is very different to how you'll pitch out a lead that's organic, because you're basically saying, here's your problem, here's the solution I need to solve for, in a very different manner than just trying to sell that I've got all the answers like you do on an ad. Treat your organic traffic very differently. And the last one, I'm not sure if you can see this, but mutual agreement. With your traffic, treat them with respect and have a mutual agreement. But when I say the different types of traffic, so you got the ones you buy, the ones you own because you already have collected them, the ones you're solving problems for organically, mutual agreement. This type of traffic is like me working with Dre and going, hey, Dre, you are the brand authority expert. How can we have mutual agreements to work together so I can help automate businesses of your clients? Because when we do that, your clients are going to be more successful, and it's going to make you more successful as well. So the other lead source that everyone seems to forget, because we feel like we're all in competition with each other, find people who you can have mutual agreements with. But that's the boom method for traffic leads. That's all Dre. It's my present for you for having us on, mate.
Boom. Thank you. I am stealing that. I am. Yeah, I've never seen. Was that especially for me, or
just for you, mate? Just for you.
Yeah. Love it.
All
right, Lyman. How do people get hold of you?
I'm just going to write my name because everyone gets it wrong. The good part is you can find me on Facebook, DM me, ask me any questions. Interested in your feedback on how this went? Send any questions through.
All right, I've got a question, because we've got 5 minutes before we get Tobias out. So
awesome.
So for you and like your clients and the people that come to you, what are those common problems? What are those? Is there something specific? Is it like the same thing, or is it just a varied range of automation troubles?
There's a few different things. One is to know your process. And when I say that, people are like, yeah, I do know my process. I'm like, cool. So you got your chat sequence. Yeah, cool. Show me your chat sequence. I know, I just do it. Okay. All right, let's map that out. How often do you do this? Is there certain places in your process that we need to split test? No one's doing like, I've worked big corporate for so many years. You A/B split test everything. How much, Dre, are you A/B split testing asking certain questions to get certain outcomes and testing what's the higher conversion rate on asking those questions.
I'm definitely not split testing at all. At all, yeah.
So you got to know that, but you also got to know how to track that. And that's why when we talk about automation, we talk about the different CRM systems. So you should be emailing your customers just to be in their inbox, just to be in their face. And I'll be honest, email automation, email stuff, like they've made it harder for email clients to get into your inbox without getting sent to junk mail. But I can tell you, as soon as you make a lead magnet, get their email address, don't just give it to them straight away. Get them to whitelist you, get them to put you in their main inbox out of their junk mail. Once you're in, you're in. And I can tell you, I've received emails from different people. We've all received emails that you just delete them all the time, right? You just delete all those, you get blasted, right? And even you have your crappy email address, right? Like I've got my something at promotion or promo. So even they all gonna know that, hey, I'm sending it to my promo inbox. And I love doing that because I get to understand all the different people do it. What are the different copies? What's the best way to do it? But guess what? Having that brand, Dre, occasionally. Dre. He's in my head, chronic. He's when it comes time to seeing him on Facebook, just slip that in there. They will chronically love you, mate. Just because you're there. Brand awareness and trust is when you constantly see it. And we need to see brands so many times these days before we start to trust them, or show up like you do and be really vulnerable and get them to know you that way. But the way you can build that trust is by constantly showing up in their inbox, constantly showing up in Facebook, constantly showing up on YouTube, constantly showing up through multi-channels. Omni-channels is what we call it these days, omni-channel marketing. And you can actually link those together. Everyone's very, hey, I've got my spreadsheets or I know what I'm doing, maybe converting in Facebook. Cool. Do you know it's that same person on Insta? Do you know it's that same person looking on YouTube? That's where it's at. That's where you sort of take your business to another higher level.
I love that. Yeah, love that. All right, Lyman, any last words before we wrap up?
No last words. If you want to work smarter, not harder, if you want to save money, save time, reach out to me. Happy to jump on a call. I'm happy to see how we can create some efficiencies. Happy to jump on a call and just give you some free feedback.
Awesome. Thank you, mate. I'm surprised. No dad joke you've got?
Oh, man. Like I had the, oh, yeah, you've had this before, no doubt. What's the difference between a snowman and a snow angel?
I don't know.
Snowballs.
Oh.
I thought you'd know that one, surely.
Mate, I just want to say, yeah, thank you just so much for absolutely everything. Like today was, yeah, just fire, and all of the support and the guidance. So not just over the last like few weeks, but even like last year. It's yeah, it's been brilliant, man. I really appreciate it.
Cool, man. Keep killing it.
All right, see you soon. All right,
enjoy.
Thanks, Lyman. All right, next up we have Mr. Tobias Madsen. This guy is like, whenever we're just going to start laughing, I'm going to bring him out and we're just going to start laughing for no reason. And it's like we're just little kids. But yeah, this guy is, yeah, incredible. Like young guys doing like some awesome things, and he's basically going to take over the world. So come out here, Tobias. How are you, legend? Okay, all right. I'm not doing this again. I'm not doing this with the sound. Are you taking the piss? Or because remember the last podcast? All right. Do you want to Yeah, I can't hear. All right. So try. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Right. Try this. Go to settings. Yeah. So go to settings. Yep. So go to settings, and then on settings, go to audio.
Okay, is it now?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Yes.
I think a few people have had that problem. Yeah.
I think it was because like my audio was set to default and not my MacBook microphone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna know for next time, aren't you?
Now? We are. And this is always the thing with Dre. Like from the moment that we connected through the Zoomiverse, and we started start just cracking up about nothing really. After like 15 minutes, we were like, what are we laughing about? I don't know, but let's keep going, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing.
Legend. Yeah, just want to say, yeah, thank you so much for coming on. And yeah, man, I'm just looking forward to this masterclass. You got slides, or you're gonna just free flow and just do your thing?
I've got talking from my heart, and I also have slides, so it's a bit of a Hannah Montana thing, right? Best of both worlds. You know where it's at.
Yeah. All right. So the share screen is just the arrow that's facing up,
Yeah.
and then when you do that, I'll just put it on screen. So I'll see you in a bit, legend.
Amazing. All right. First, I want to say a massive thank you to Dre for having me on here. I'm just beyond honored to be able to come on here and then talk about the things that I love talking about as a singing coach. Of course, my name is Tobias, and I live in Denmark, actually. So, like, the time difference between Denmark time and Aussie time is kind of, it's kind of weird. They're like 8 hours ahead of me. So every time that I do these things, I'm like, do I have to get up at night? Or, yeah. I want to say a massive thank you to Dre. He's an amazing character. And I met him through the mastermind that we're both part of, Point One. And from the moment that I jumped on a call with him, like the energy was just on fire, He's an amazing guy. And this is why I want to come on here and then talk about, so I have a bit of content for you, and I trust that you're going to take massive notes and get massive value out of this. And remember, value extraction is up to you. Value extraction is always up to you guys. So let's actually just jump into it. Today, I want to be talking about fear and confidence. What fear does to your body, what fear does to your life, and what fear does to your mind. And also how you can solve these problems beforehand and be like, this is amazing. I'm going to be flying every day. Happy, yay life and happy days, right? And I also want to clear up some misconceptions and some false beliefs around fear and confidence. And remember that fear and confidence, they are, yeah, of course, they're opposites, but they're also kind of the same thing. Let me show you why. And I hope this, yeah, okay, cool. Amazing. Cool. So, guys, I trust that you can see this. Yes, you can. All right, so this is not really anything right now. So let's make something out of it. What is fear really? Fear is created. I want to talk about the brain first. Okay, I want to talk about the brain first. What is the brain? The brain is a mix of chemicals. That's essentially what it is. Okay, it does all of our thinking, subconscious and conscious thinking, and we want to take that and then be able to do amazing stuff with it. Okay, so the thing that is causing fear is really this. It's about two almond size. Okay, it's called the amygdala, also the lizard brain. Okay, and the lizard brain always wants to either avoid struggle, uncertainty, and a couple of the things that I'm gonna take into the next slide here. And really, the lizard brain how do I explain this? It's like you have a companion with you all times that are constantly putting fear into whatever that you're doing, whatever that you're doing, okay? And I mean, let's say, all right, cool. Let's say that you're about to go on stage. You're about to go on stage and you feel this sensation coming from inside, okay? This is a state that your body sets it in, all right? It's a state. And it really does us no benefit at all, because let's take it back to the Stone Age, okay? Where your bread and butter was literally like never in front of you. Like you had to go out and physically find it to be able to survive and to avoid threats and to avoid getting eaten by saber-toothed tigers and stuff like that, okay? And while that was great for us back then, it really serves us no purpose now. It serves us no purpose now, because we don't have saber-toothed tigers to like run around in the wild, or T-Rexes to rip our heads off, right? So really, the thing that we're most afraid of right now today is actually dealing with it. And that's what fear does to you. My advice to you about this lizard brain is actually to dance with it. When people say that, okay, how do I, so I had a client coming to me and then being like, how do I kill my fear? And then I was like, I'm actually glad that you asked that question, because it's exactly the wrong question to ask. It's exactly the wrong question to ask, because you can never kill it. Never. Everybody has an amygdala. Everybody does. And everybody has fear, even though they say like, I'm totally fearless, you know? They're lying. Like, you can find a way to diminish that fear and then go be awesome in your own way. But really the thing of it is like to dance with it, always to have this bounce around with your fear, so you can learn to not overcome it, but live with it. Okay, I'm thinking more of a long-term game, not the short term, where you like you do a couple of exercises to do blah 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 blah, and then you kind of miss out on it. Okay, the next thing I want to be talking about are the 4 triggers of fear. Okay, uncertainty, attention, change, and struggle. Let's start with uncertainty. Okay, when you're on okay, let's say that you're in a classroom, right? And the teacher asks you a question and you're afraid of giving a dumb answer, and then you're being like, I don't and then I don't really and I've been through this. I was horrible in school, horrible, but I found something else that I really enjoy doing, right? And I really enjoy doing. So this uncertainty that we feel in that moment triggers a lot of fear, which leads to you get attention. Holy shit, I'm on the spot. I have to produce. I have to show up and show everybody what I am and what I can be and what I'm not. And oh shit, and now I'm uncertain again. And now I feel more fear. And like, when you get attention, everybody's just like, they look at you, okay? They stare at you and they expect you to come with some kind of outcome that's you're probably not prepared to, okay? The third thing is change, right? How fearful are you when you're, let's say you can't pay rent, okay? You don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know what change is gonna come. You don't know what that change is gonna bring you. It might be awesome. It might be horrible, but your lizard brain is always looking to stay safe, and is always like, it's very black and white. Like the lizard brain can't really see that it can't really tell a difference. Okay, it can never tell a difference. So seeing black and white is really all it does. Seeing black and white is like, I might get killed or I might live, and it's always gonna choose live, of course. But change is really such a major trigger in this, because when you change yourself, you don't know, like, you don't know the outcome. You never know the outcome, and it's always this imaginary thing of what could possibly happen that fear induces, and that fear triggers, right? The fourth thing is struggle. I love this one. I really love this one, because our lizard brain is always going to find the thing that's not struggling. Okay, so I might let's say that I was about to create a, oh, my eye is doing a twitch here, just 1 minute. Let's say that I had the choice between making a training video for my singing coaching business, okay, or I could go and vacuum my house. Which thing, do you think my lizard brain is gonna choose? I'm gonna vacuum clean my house 3 times, or 10 times, or 20 times, right? So guys, this is my way of saying that even though that your lizard brain is looking for a way to struggle, it's your job to find struggling things. It's really your job. Another example, you drive home from work, right? And the night before, you decided that you were gonna make a healthy meal, okay? Let's say a nice steak or something, without like all the buttery, creamy sauce, okay? Just a good steak, good protein. You know where it's at. You know where it's at. And some broccoli and some beans and some cauliflower, or stuff like that, vegetables. And so your lizard brain thinking black and white, okay? Then I would have to go to the store, pick out all the ingredients, pay for my ingredients, put them in a bag, take them home, and prepare them and cook them, okay? Clean them, cook them. Or, like when I drive my car does this weird thing, okay? I'm driving down the road, and I have this healthy meal in my head, okay? But I'm driving down the road, and somewhere along the way I see a Sunset or Burger King or something like that, and then my car does this weird thing. It does this, it pulls in. So do you notice what happens there? Okay, it's the not struggling part. It's the most easy part of it that it's always going to choose. And this is where your lizard brain fools you, because again, it does not know the difference. I have a question for you. And this question is really, I can't really take credit for all these facts, okay? Some of them I borrowed, and some of them I created to be able to explain this model to you, because I think it is such an incredible question, such incredible information to be able to enhance our brains with, and dance with a lizard brain, okay? Do a little Zumba, or I don't know Zumba. It's fine. The question is, when has fear robbed you of an opportunity to grow? Think of all the times that fear has robbed you of an opportunity to grow. When you were asked to speak on stage in front of I don't know how many coaches are in here, a bunch of them, okay? My lizard brain is immediately thinking like, I have to get out of here. And also is like freaking out right now. What am I doing here? But I'm doing this to grow. I'm doing this to grow myself. I'm doing this to grow my mind and really the way that I can speak from stage. Okay. The way that I can educate people on some of the things that they're probably a little, unsure about. And this is my what can I say, job as a coach. So write that down. When has fear robbed you of an opportunity to grow? It could be going on stage and singing a song for, X Factor, but you shy away. You don't do it. You don't do it, and maybe that song could have changed your life, and it would have been all good, happy days, okay? The fourth thing is facing it. When you face your fear, you dance with it. You live with it. You don't shy away. You become more aware of what it could potentially do for you and for your future. What it could potentially do for you and the people around you. Okay, we are our relations, and if you're always going to be hanging out with people who are shy, who are fearful, who are, listening to their lizard brain and seeing everything black and white, I got news for you, bro. You're not facing it. You're not facing it. And here's the truth about fear. Here's the truth about fear. It's very easy to sit and talk about, all the things we should and shouldn't do, but actually going out and doing the things that you're meant to do is so fucking scary. Right? It's really scary. Because you feel uncertain, you're struggling, okay? You've got attention on you, and things are changing, okay? Remember the 4 triggers of fear? So while it's very easy to talk about all these things, I want you to take this question and then put it into your everyday. Every time that you approach a girl on the street, or you talk to some, hot guy or whatever, if you're a girl, or a man, I'm not gonna judge. Is fear gonna rob me of an opportunity to grow up now? Or am I gonna face it and be legendary? Okay. So now it's time to you to take action on this and change your beliefs about what fear does to you and how you can work with it and how you can work out of it and how you not work out of it, but dance with it. Okay. Live with it, because fear is always, and I mean always, going to be with you. Unless you get some kind of surgical thing where you like get your amygdala taken out. I wouldn't recommend that. Sounds kind of struggling. All right. Next thing I want to be talking about today is confidence. I want to be talking about confidence. As a singing coach, I help aspiring singers gain confidence to sing in front of others. And this is how I always explain it. Almost always explain it, but because it's such an amazing model to be able to grow your confidence, but also really what the root of confidence is. And the root of confidence is congruency. It is congruency. Bottom line. If you can keep by your word every day, your confidence is going to soar. So if you tell yourself that I'm going to do this thing, and if you actually follow through with that thing, your confidence can do nothing but grow and just be amazing, really. So everything that we've been talking about today really leads into this amazing model about confidence. So let me share this with you right here. And while I know that this may not look like much, but this is where we start. This right here, my ladies and gentlemen, is where we start. You do that one workout. You do that new thing. You change. And I can actually take this as an example. Every day, I have to drink 4 of these, a gallon of water, because I'm again starting up something called 75 Hard, where for 75 days, I have to do 5 simple tasks, okay? And if I slip up even with one of those things, I got to start over from day 1, even if it's on day 74, okay? So let's say this is day 1, or week 1, or month 1, okay? I'm feeling pretty good about it. I stayed true to my word that I was going to do this and do this and do this, okay? I get another level, another plateau, another step for me to be able to move up the ladder, okay? Move up the ladder of confidence. You start to feel pretty good about this, okay? Everything is working and you're amazing. Your body is looking better and your health is better and your mind is better. Everything is just amazing, okay? So you take a step further. And you're up here thinking like, I'm king of the world. I'm going to leave out other Titanic phrases now. So you're up here. You're up here and maybe you start to not do the things that you said you were going to do. And maybe you think that it's enough. And therefore, my friends, things start to go another way. You stop doing the things that you said that you were going to do. And therefore, your congruency goes down. And remember, guys, congruency is the bottom line of confidence. You take another step down. Maybe it wasn't so important anyway. Maybe it wasn't so important after all that I said I was going to do all these things and now I'm not going to do them. And it's kind of crazy, right? Because the more we go down this ladder, we actually find ourselves the same place, doing nothing. You've done nothing. Yeah, you've done these things, but you've kind of taken them down again, and you've actually done nothing. That's the hard truth about this confidence model. When you stop doing the things that you said you were going to do, you bottom line it again. So guys, this is my way of saying to you, keep up with your word, okay? And it's okay to miss a day. It's okay, okay? But missing a lot of days, well, that's a challenge. That's a decision you have to make within yourself, okay? In my program, Aspiring Singers, I teach you how to do this. I teach you how to go up the ladder. And you continue to go up because you're always keeping in touch with where am I right now? What am I going to do to discover my next steps, which is up there. Okay? And really, this is what I really believe in. This is what I'm really passionate about. And hey, but I'm not gonna be like all hail Mary here, okay? I do this myself. Sometimes I go down the ladder myself. Okay. But I'm always aware of, okay, cool. Now taking a step down, now it's time to take a step up again. Because you can even be here and then still like make another step right here. You just gone down a step. Doesn't matter if it's a day. But, so guys, I trust that. Stop. I trust that you extracted as much value from that as you could. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Hey Brett. Hey Paul. How you doing? It's really up to you to be able to take that decision and really hone it. Take it in, put it in your pocket, and then rock on. Okay. It's time for you to take action. It's time for you to take action and change your beliefs around this. Okay? But I'd like to empower you by saying you are the creation of your own life. Always. You are the creation of your own life, always. Always. And hey, quick tip about confidence. If you need a boost in confidence, getting to anchor that, okay, there's a wonderful technique in NLP that's called anchoring, which means that you can anchor a certain state or feeling to a certain point in your body. Sometimes when I don't know where my confidence is, or I can't really find it, I have a point right here that I press, and instantly I can feel my bones tickling. And this is also something that I cover in my program. Okay, NLP is a wonderful tool to be able to express the language of the mind. Okay, and to really anchor in states or emotions or feelings. And this is really what I want to share with the world, is that you can do anything you put your mind to. Anything. Hey Dre, how are we doing?
Perfect, absolutely perfect. I was going to say, if you could call Rafa Nadal, because yeah, you were just smashing it, ace after ace after ace after ace, bro. Yeah, thank you so much, so much, so much, so much,
So much.
so much,
Match.
so much.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, bro, absolutely awesome. How do people get hold of you? What's the best way?
Facebook. Definitely Facebook. Tobias BACH MADSEN, and that's MADSEN.
Awesome.
And it's the handsome guy with the guitar and the sunglasses.
Oh, okay, that guy. Don't think I've seen him. All right.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
I'm just kidding. Hey,
okay.
no, I don't want to trouble.
All
right, before you go, any like workshops, challenges, programs that you've got on at the moment that people can inquire about?
Sure. So I have a 4-week. I actually have 2 programs right now. I have a 4-week program that's very, very low end, where I really teach you how to become a better singer, and that's my promise to you, that by week 4 you will be a phenomenal, better singer. Okay. For my 12-week program, I also have a promise to you that you will be 100% confident in your skills, your performance, and the way that you sing. Okay. And if not, I'll work with you for free until you do. So feel free to reach out to me if you have some questions. I'd love to answer them. I'd love to be able to give back, because that's what it's all about, right? Giving value and giving value and giving value. What do you give out? You always get back to 7-fold. Okay.
All right, Tobias, the main man. Thank you. All right, you are just an incredible human, and man, I know that you're going to take over the world. I can feel it. So yeah, thank you for coming on, giving your value, donating like your time, money, energy, and everything else. So yeah, you're just an incredible human.
Paul's got it. Awesome. Hey, amazing. Am I just gonna pop out, or what are we gonna do now?
Yeah, I was gonna bring Terry. So Terry's just waiting in the background.
Cool.
So I was gonna,
Bro,
yeah,
much
bring
love.
her out.
Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. This is amazing. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you. All right, Tobias. That was Tobias Madsen. And now we have the one and only Terri Vincent. So I probably can't say too much about it, but Terri has been involved in it's called a program called like the Hurt Locker, where there's a group of, I'm gonna call them chosen ones, and they've got a goal that they were trying to reach, and Terri was the winner of this goal, and she set records. And what I love about it is because I watched her Facebook Live the other day, and the amount of challenges that she had. And another thing that I love about Terri is that she is a giver. She's like just a true giver. If you've ever got a problem, then she'll be like there to help you. She's like, what can I do? How can I help you? How can I support you? Just an amazing, incredible, phenomenal human. All right, so Terri, welcome to the stage. Your camera's off, so I'm hoping it's going to be on when we get here. Hey, Terri, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can't see you.
No,
Let's
I know. Why
let's
is
try
that?
this. All right, so can you see at the bottom of the screen, there's a settings on the right-hand side. There's a round settings button. Yep, so if you click on that, and then if you click on video, and then it's got video. Oh, there we go. Ah, look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. How are you?
I am fantastic. Thank you very much for asking.
Oh, all right, Terri, first I just want to say congratulations for the Hurt Locker. I heard like how much like you made, and it's just like that is just incredible, absolutely incredible.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Oh, you're so welcome. All right, so today is it business? Oh, business is a marathon,
Business
not a
is
marathon.
a marathon. Yes, yeah.
Awesome.
We're just going to have a bit of fun. I'm going to share some value, but we're just going to have a bit of fun. It's late in the day for some people. It's early for others. Let's just rock on.
All right, I will leave you to it, and I'll see you in a few minutes.
Awesome. Thanks, Dre. And thank you, everyone. It's such an honor to be here, to be honest, and to be able to support Brett and Paul and their beautiful children with Rett syndrome and Angelman syndrome. When Dre asked me to do this, it was just a no-brainer. Naturally, I'm going to say yes. I just love helping people, and in particular, I was so blessed to have healthy children myself. So always to be able to support. So keep going, everyone. Keep digging deep. It sounds like I'm on one of those charity programs. Dig deep, put those hands in those pockets and get out those wallets and donate to these amazing charities. All the help that they can get will obviously help hopefully get cures. So anyway, I want to share with you. First of all, I want to share a little bit about myself. Dre's given me an amazing introduction. I'm sort of going to segue off that a little bit by saying, it's what you put into business is what you're going to get out without any doubt. It is all about the passion and the hunger and who you are that is going to determine the results that you get. And I have been a business coach for, I keep telling this story. I'm sure every time I tell a story, I use a different number. Let's just say it's coming up for 20 years. It's between 18 and 20. I never actually counted back, but it's been a long time. And through that journey, I have risen to the highest of heights. I have been a global #1 female coach, business coach, carrying those accolades. and then crash down to the ground again, as it's very easy to do, and climbed back up again. And it was like this roller coaster journey. But each night, knowing each time that every time I stepped into the next level, it was only ever what I put in. And I realized when I crashed down, it was a lot because my ego got in the way and didn't allow me to continue on that journey of the success that I was getting. So, you know, hitting my head on the ceiling of $1 million coaching business, knowing that I was so close, you know, I could sense, I could feel it on the other side, and I was so close, and then ego kicked in, and then I dropped down, and so the story goes. But you know, for me, I've realized that I looked back on all my years in business, and it's not just coaching. I've had 25 years running a mechanical repair business with my ex-husband. So that experience in business of actually being part of a business where you're serving the client who doesn't really know the difference between their vehicle coming in that just needs a service, the difference between what it's like when it goes out. Because it's like business in general. Sometimes what you put in, you don't always see the results straight away. Someone puts their car in for a service, it's running perfectly fine when they bought it in, and when they leave, it's running perfectly fine, and they hand over hundreds of dollars and off they go. And so having the experience of looking after a customer from that level to then going, actually, there's got to be other ways for me to service the market and to be able to support the market in business and really making a difference. And so long story short, part of the way through that journey, it led me to coaching. It led me to my love of business. I have been a wealth coach, a property coach, but more so for me, my love of business is being able to help coaches, business coaches in particular, to be able to create the ripple for their clients. So what I'm going to share with you today, this afternoon, whatever time of the day it is for you, and let's have a little bit of fun with it. Like, I don't want it to get too serious. It is a model and it is going to support you in your business. I know that without any doubt. But I want you to look at this as an opportunity for you to see that business can be fun. Because every time when I'm speaking with a client or every time I'm doing something, I'm thinking how much more fun this can add to my life. So as I go through this, I want you to be able to see it for yourself as well. Because if it ain't fun, don't do it. That's my message to you right now. If it ain't fun, don't do it. So business is a marathon. Just to give you a bit of a story before I get into actually sharing what this is about. Another story that I'm going to relate to business is a marathon. I've always been competitive. I've tried so many different sports. Generally, team sports work better for me. Playing golf when I'm sort of like going out and trying to compete. Yeah, you compete against others, but it's more like my own thing. No, that's not really for me. I like to be in something where the whole team works together to get the result, because together is better. And I used to do outrigging. For some of you who don't know what that is, those canoes with the little outrigger things on the side, and you paddle. And you have a team of 6 generally, or you can have 2, but I was in a team of 6. And for those of you who are from Australia or know Australia and know Hamilton Island, the race that I was in, a particular race, was it was 58 kilometres racing around Hamilton Island against 101 other canoes. And it was like the training that I had to do to get to that level. We didn't do the whole 58 kilometres on our own. Like we jumped out of the canoe, but there had to be such precision with the canoe that it could not lose momentum. It had to keep momentum. So as one of the rowers, if you want to call them that, the outriggers jumped out, the other one had to get in on the other side at the same time without the canoe tipping over. Momentum, precision, everything that we need in business needed to stay in. We were in like 6-foot high seas going around the head of Hamilton Island, and it was fun and it was scary and it was everything that business is. But what I learned from that, it wasn't just training for that race. It was training because I was an outrigger. And I actually was continuing after that. That was just one of the races that we were doing. We'd already won the state titles, so we already knew that we were great, but we had to train for a marathon. And 58 kilometres is a marathon when you're paddling in rough seas, believe me. In particular, because when we first went to take off, one of the girls panicked, and because she panicked, we flipped the canoe. And so we had to actually get back up and take off, knowing that all the other canoes were round the corner. And it was like, you would have felt like this in business. Is like your business is taking off, and then something happens, and maybe something financial happens, or something doesn't work. Something was meant to be delivered to you for you to help your clients. That didn't work. So suddenly the competition is going around the corner, and they're going out of view, and you go, how am I ever going to catch up? Do I give up? And it's like, well, hang on. Yes, you can. You've got this commitment. You totally can. You've got this ability to create consistency, and you can create everything you need to keep going on that journey. Anyway, long story short, 101 canoes. We were so far behind. Like I said, they were around the corner. We couldn't see them. We came 11th. 58 kilometres down, we came 11th, which was such a milestone. And there was a couple of Olympians that were just ahead of us. So that is what Business is a Marathon is all about. I'm going to share a model with you. So what this is, sharing this with you in a way, like I said, look at this as not just something that we're going to go through and you're going to say, wow, here's some great information Terry's sharing. I want you to think about it as to how in your business, whether it's a coaching business or whatever business that you're in, that you can actually get some great results by having fun. So there's 4 C's actually, but the first C, and this was, think about it going back to being in the outrigger canoe. The first thing we all had to have is the commitment to be able to race the race. 58 kilometres is a long race. Imagine how much training we had to put in to be able to have that level of endurance, to be able to race 58 kilometres. So we had to have commitment. In business, if you do not have your level of commitment at the highest possible, then you're setting yourself up for failure. It's like, yeah, I can do it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. No, we're not up for that game. We're up for being so hungry and so committed, we're prepared to do whatever it takes. The second one is consistency. So once again, going back to the outrigging, we're committed. We know we're all in the team. Everyone's working together. These 13 paddlers. Obviously, we're changing every few kilometres. We're changing, and precision has to be in. And, it's like that marathon feeling of just keeping on going. We needed to keep consistent. You can't get your paddle out of beat. You've got to go in beat with the others. It's like the rowing, in the Olympics where they have the rowing, where the rowers are all going in time. Exactly the same with outrigging. You can't afford to be out of time because it will slow the canoe down by seconds, which can be the difference between first and last. So consistency is really important. So in business, you must remain consistent. What are the 3 or 5 things that you need to do in your business all the time that is consistent? The third one, and this is the one where it is all about being a marathon. This is about when everything is in compound. Compound is when it's able to be sustained for future. It's not just about now. It's about, you're not just training for one thing, you're training for the future. You're training for 5 years down the track in your business, 10 years, 20 years, whatever it is for you. And the last C is congruency. And I heard Tobias just talking about this. Congruency is you being a stand for your clients, showing them everything that you're going to support them with, you do yourself. You be a stand for your clients by being a stand for yourself. So let's just go. I'm not going to go into too much detail with this because, like I said, we don't want to get too bogged down in the detail, but I'm just going to go through areas of each of these that you can get some tips from in order to be able to create that sustainable momentum in your business as you're flowing through. Think of it like I said, running a marathon. The running a marathon is about you are training for that race. You are training for that 42-kilometre race. You don't start training next week for a race that you're going to run in 2 weeks' time. if you're going to run a race like that, if you're going to run in a marathon or paddle around Hamilton Island in your outrigger, you need to train for months. You need to train for years. You need to make sure you are so committed. You've got so much consistency, and everything you're doing is being built on over and over and over again. And when you're telling the story, you're telling the story because it's true. This is congruency. This is living up to what I say is what I do, and I'm never going to tell anyone anything different. If you get even these things, if I share nothing else with you throughout this whole talk that I've got with you, which isn't long, but if I share nothing else and you only get this, then look at it. How committed am I? How consistent am I? How much am I making sure that things are growing, that I'm able to scale? And then how congruent am I? How congruent am I in my business that what I say I can honor with everything I am? If you can say just these things and you're having fun, you have got an amazing business. And this is how I operate. I operate under these conditions myself. So let's go into a little bit more detail. So commitment. What is commitment really? Commitment is about promises. The promises, not only the promises we make to our market, our clients, maybe even our family if we're getting supported by our family, but ourselves. What promises are you making to yourself? Remember, this is all linking to congruency, which is the central part of this model. Are you making promises that you're keeping, or are you breaking promises? So whatever you say, this is integrity. Whatever you say, you must honor. So make sure whatever promises you're setting or you're saying that you're absolutely keeping. It's not that hard. What you promise to someone else, honor it. If for whatever reason you can't honor it because of the simple fact that something out of your control has come into place, then that's fine. You just communicate that. And you communicate why you can't honor that promise now. But the biggest thing that will change for you is when you don't honor promises to yourself. The second thing around commitment is action. So make the promises and make sure the action that you're taking is the right action. The action that is going to actually get you the results that you're looking to get based on the commitment that you've given. It's too easy to just waste time doing and not actually doing the right things that is going to get the results that you're looking to get. I work with clients, I work with coaches how to get to 7 figures. Make the promise, make the commitment, make the promise, take the right action. You're 80% there, 80% there. First part of the game. That's how I do it. That's how you can do it as well. Consistency. Consistency is doing the same thing over and over again, the right things. It's not like insanity where you do the same things over and over again and expect a different result. Consistency is about doing the same thing over and over again, the right action based on your promises, based on your commitment, and making sure that you are getting the results you're looking for. So how do you achieve this? Set yourself daily non-negotiables. What are those things that you commit to with every essence of who you are, that you know these are the needle movers, the things that are actually going to move you forward? The next one is create milestones, daily milestones, weekly milestones, monthly milestones, quarterly milestones, annual milestones. Every step of the way, you've got something you're moving towards. I remember paddling around that head of Hamilton Island, the roughest oceans ever. They've had 18-foot waves around that, the head of where we had to paddle around. It was the hardest part of the paddle. It was the hardest part of that marathon. But we knew each step of the way there was a milestone we were achieving. And as long as we got to that next stage, we knew that we could keep going. We got to that milestone. What's the next milestone? All right, how many more paddles have we got till we get to the next milestone? We knew what we needed to do to get there. We had daily non-negotiables. It was health, it was exercise, it was everything. It was mindset more than ever. And this is the same in business as well. So make sure as you're going around that head when you don't quite know what's around there, but you know you've heard these rough oceans, that you're moving in that direction every step of the way, knowing that there's just another milestone that you're going to achieve as you go around the corner. Sorry about this, everyone. The little screen's popped up in front of me. Just take that out of the way. All right, moving on. See, I told you we're going to have fun. By the way, just to get out right in front, I should have said this in the beginning. I love technology. Sometimes technology just doesn't love me as much, but that's okay. I'm happy to have that sort of relationship with technology. Anyway, I'm very aware of the time and I want to make sure we finish with a bang. So let's go into compounding. So with compounding, I said it's like creating that constant momentum where you're going to get, you might have heard of the word Kaizen, the Japanese word Kaizen, which is constant and never-ending improvement. It's where you're constantly looking at your business and where it's at and what you need to keep growing within it so it keeps improving, and you're calibrating and balancing. It's like some of you would know when you get a bit of equipment, you need to calibrate it to make sure it stays within its balance. Your business is exactly the same. We need to calibrate it to make sure it can scale and grow. And the last one is measurement. This is the part that, interestingly enough, so many business owners don't love. Why? I don't know. Its numbers is not my favorite thing, but is absolutely my favorite part of business that tells me when I've just had a $200,000 100 days, or I've had a $170,000 week. If I don't know my measurements, how could I ever possibly know that? So that's the fun part of business. So I'm just going to switch back off on that. So I really wanted to just share that model with you, just to give you insights about business is not a sprint. Like imagine, and I've done this before, I've done outrigging. Where we trained was when we were training outrigging in the early stages before we were training for that massive big long race. And by the way, how else you might think of outrigging is they do it in Hawaii. A lot of those sort of countries, they have outrigging races. And Hawaii in particular is massive for outrigging. And, you know, when we start training, we had to train little short bursts to get our bodies into the flow of energy to be able to pick up the pace when we needed to pick up the pace. But we were never training for a sprint. We were training for a marathon, no matter what length the race was. And this was before we even knew we were doing this 58 kilometers. Your business should be seen, it should be to you like a marathon. And you might be running a 42-kilometer marathon. You might be running an ultra marathon. An ultra marathon, that's 100 miles, not even 100 kilometers, 100 miles. Whatever it is, you've got to make sure that you put the training in, you're hydrated, you've got everything that you need ready to go, so that when you get on that starting line, and most of you are already on that starting line, I do know that, is you are ready, you're off, you're ready to roll, and you know that you can see the distance, no matter what obstacles are going to fall in your way, no matter what 18-foot oceans and waves are going to crash down on your canoe, you're going to be ready, because right around that corner, you know it's not far until the next milestone, which could be your next $1 million. So, Dre, I just wanted to share that with everyone, and you know, hopefully everyone's got some value from that. I've had fun. I don't know about you. I've had heaps of fun doing this.
Terry, that was absolutely awesome. All right, does anyone, or a few minutes, does anyone have any questions for Terry? Terry, I do.
Yes, ask away. I love questions.
Yeah, what would be, because I know that you've mentioned that you had was it $170,000 week?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Oh, congratulations.
If I can, you can, by the way.
Yeah. What would be you know, like the 3 things that you really focus on to move your business forward?
To have a week like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like 200K month or.
Look, I mean, out of the ones I just shared, the most the 3 C's are the most important, and commitment. But I would even say it as I was hungry. I was really, really hungry, but I was hungry for my clients. I was hungry because I want to be able to make so much of a difference to my clients' lives. And I know there's people out there that I can serve that are just not getting it themselves. So having that commitment and that hunger was the first thing, the determination to be able to go, this is not about me. It's not, the money is just the measurement, if we want to look at it from that. It's about the client, and it's about the difference I can make. Imagine the ripple of what I can do for their families. You know, imagine the difference I can make to charities and giving back. Second one, it definitely took commitment. It took a lot, consistency. Sorry, I already said commitment. It took consistency. Yeah. So it's just doing the right things at the right time, making sure that no matter what obstacles, and believe me, I had higher than 18-foot waves coming my way even on that week. It was just keeping consistent and not giving up, but looking after myself. And it's the last one, which is probably the most important, is the belief that it's possible. You know, I just kept believing, because I mean, I'd had massive months before, but never ever had a month that high. I had had a $50,000 month before. I'd never had close to a $200,000 week. I just believed it was possible, and I just went for it. And it's the biggest part. 80% of what we do in business is mindset. And that's what you need to have in order to be the best. And and I'm just going to keep saying it. If I can, you can, and that's everyone. If I can do this, anyone can do it. Who am I? I'm Terri, just like you're Dre, just like Paul's Paul, Brett's Brett, Tobias is Tobias. We're all just people.
All right, so Paul said.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Amazing, Coach Terri. I second that. And Denise. Denise is up next. Yeah, so good and well done on your epic. All right. Do you have any final words for us that you'd like to leave us with? So something inspirational, like any jokes or anything at all that you'd
jokes,
like to...
my God. No, look, it's like I started off really. I mean, it's if you're not having fun, don't do it. I mean, that's probably the biggest thing for me is follow your heart, and follow that. You jump out of bed every day knowing that you're going to make a difference to someone's life and enjoy doing it. If you can do that in your business, all the rest is just stuff. You can Google any strategy in the world in how to make a successful business, or how to be a successful coach. It's just that feeling of having fun doing what you're doing that's going to make the biggest difference. And that's what I do every day. Just have fun. So have fun. I'll leave you with that.
I love that. I can definitely do that. Terri, thank you for absolutely everything and for who you are, because I know that you're a big giver. And when anyone needs help, you jump away. What can I do? How can I help? What guidance do you need? What can I give you? And yeah, just really inspirational. Really inspirational.
It's an honor, pleasure. Thank you.
You're so welcome. All right, you go have an awesome day, awesome night, and we'll get Denise out. All right, so we've got Denise Mortimer, and she's going to be speaking about the law of attraction. All right, Denise, let's get you out here. Hey, superstar, how are you?
Fantastic. Good to meet you. Good to see you.
Good to virtually meet you. I love it. All
yes,
right.
absolutely.
So have I got that right? You're going to be speaking about... Excellent. You're going to be speaking about the law of attraction. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm going to be sharing with you the surprising ways to activate the law of attraction in your favor.
All right. I am going to take a seat, get my notepad out and make some notes. So I'll be back a bit later towards the end. And if anyone's got any questions, yeah, let's do this.
Great. Thank you. So excited to be here. So excited to be supporting these amazing causes as well. I've got lots to get through, so I'm going to dive right into my content. I'll tell you a little bit about me to start with. I'm from New York originally. I live in the United Kingdom. I've been a coach on my own in my business for 5 years. I spent 20 years working in the public sector in the UK, and I finally made the move to move online. And I started moving on. When I came online, I started as a coach, just like doing life coaching. And because I was gaining all these tools to learn how to create a business, I then moved into business coaching because I got really good at it really quickly. And I created my first 6-figure year in a 6-month space of time, not from the starting gate, but once I decided I was going to have a 6-figure year, I had a 6-figure year, had a 6-figure 6 months, as a matter of fact. But what I realized was that I was a real go-getter. I had all the drive. I had all of the ambition, and I just made things happen. And that's not taking away from anyone else, but I was getting curious as to why my clients weren't getting the same results that I was getting. And oops, my door is just flown open. There's a ghost in the machine here. I'm in my home office and the door is just flown open on me. I wasn't expecting that. I thought it was fully closed. So what happened was I had about 30 clients on my books, and I was wondering why I was getting phenomenal results, but my clients weren't necessarily getting phenomenal results. And so a side note is that I was studying law of attraction, everything about like law of attraction, law of vibration, metaphysical sciences. So really understanding how energy is everything, because I kept hearing, energy is everything. And I'm like, what does that actually mean? Energy is everything. How does it apply? Am I energy? Is this like, this Post-it pad energy? Like, what do they mean when they say everything is energy? So I think I might need to close this door. I'm so sorry. Just excuse me just a moment. I'm so sorry. I'm coming back. Please excuse me. I wasn't expecting to do that. So it was back in 2019 where I discovered something called rapid transformation therapy. Now, I'm one of these people, as a high performance person myself, I consider myself high performance, that when I make a decision, I go for it. I make sure it happens, whether it's a financial goal or an academic goal or a sporting goal, whatever I set my mind to, I make it happen. I consider myself a high performance. So I thought I'd tried all of these healing modalities to enable me to have the mindset, like I thought I had the mindset of a winner, which is why I kept winning. but I was like, why are my clients not getting the same level of result? So when I experienced the rapid transformation, I did it because a dear friend of mine had become a practitioner in this modality. And I was kind of like, oh, I'll just give it a go because it's my friend, not really believing I was going to get an amazing result. And what happened next actually blew my mind. It was such a deep process, and it made me realize, and this is the secret that has been a game changer. So it is the secret that activates the law of attraction in your favor. What I realized was how much of a stranglehold our past conditioning has on all of our current results and future results unless we do something about it. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to see if I can get my graphic up here. Let me see if I can share this. Oh, I don't know if I can. I'm going to just show you this picture. Can I do a screen share or no?
Yeah, you can do it down the bottom. Can you see the arrow that's pointing up?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you click on that. And then it should say window or tab. There we go.
No, I'm going to stop sharing because I'm not experienced enough to. What I've got for you. I'm going to show you this. This is I was prepared anyway. I was completely prepared to not, because I've not used this software before. So this is called the map of consciousness. It might be coming up backwards for you. Just hold up a mirror to it and it'll be the right way around. So this is called the map of consciousness. This is the work of Dr. David Hawkins, who was actually a medical doctor who went into metaphysical and started to really understand about the law, about energy is everything. And this is such a critical piece of work that I believe every coach and everybody should be talking about this. This is such an important piece of work. This is where everything is energy comes into its own. So you'll see, even if you can't read the words, you'll understand the idea of what I'm saying. At the bottom of this pyramid, or this upside down pyramid, at the bottom, you've got low level emotions. You've got shame, powerlessness, despair, guilt. These are the lowest vibrating human emotions. At the top of this scale, you've got things like God consciousness, gratitude, peace, freedom, empowerment. And somewhere in the middle, you've got things like courage, neutrality, desire. So you've got this whole scale. At the bottom of that scale, you contract as a human. At the top of the scale, you expand as a human. What I didn't know when I experienced the rapid transformation therapy, because I thought I'd healed, I thought I'd done all the healing. I love doing that for no apparent reason. I thought I'd done all the healing that I needed to do in this lifetime. Silly me. When I did the rapid transformation, what I realized is that I'd let go of a lot of subconscious shame and guilt that I'd been holding on to. If you'd have asked me, I would have told you I don't have guilt and shame. I'm free of that stuff. I've done so much work. I've studied NLP. I have a master's in positive psychology. I have law of attraction practitioner certificates. I've got so many things. I've done so many modalities. But doing this process where we regressed to my childhood and I allowed myself to let go of the guilt and shame that had been stored in my system. So if you're familiar with the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza and Bruce Lipton, you'll be familiar with this idea as well. The difference that made the difference was I thought I knew this, but experiencing it at a profound level became the change that changed everything for me. Once I released the guilt and shame, things started happening in my life, like the law of attraction. There I go again. The law of attraction started acting in my favor. What do I mean by that? Everything became easier. I would put something out on, Facebook is my main medium of where I work with clients and attract clients from. And I'd put something out and people would jump all over it. So I was like fully booked with clients and amazing things were happening. And I was like, damn. So I then studied to be able to deliver this, because in fact, it felt like it was a grave injustice to my clients if I didn't do this, because I realized that this was the thing they needed. They needed to clear their own guilt and shame, because at the core of everyone, mark my words, you can argue as much as you want, at the core of everyone is guilt and shame. And it's just distilling, finding the exact cause, the root cause of your own guilt and shame. And once you release that from your cells, you become magnetic for more of the things that you want, because this is what happens. And the thing is, you don't know, because it's subconscious. I didn't know, I didn't realize how impactful these the feelings of guilt and shame were driving my behavior, making me feel like I was stuck at an income level. I couldn't get past a certain income level. I was feeling apologetic about clients who weren't getting results. There was so many areas I was struggling. Am I a fraud? Am I a charlatan? Maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Maybe I'm not good enough. Like all of the demons were haunting me, and that, they continue. Because this work is ongoing work. We all know, like, mindset is not like one and done, but doing this deep clearing work, what happened for me is that I let go of the guilt and shame, and I was able to rise up. I was able to rise up the scale. And then I became a vibrational match, because like attracts like, right? We say this law of attraction all the time, that we only attract from where we are. So if you look at these different levels here, and if you think of each of them as like a level on an elevator, You know, if you get off at the level of guilt and shame, you're going to go around on the floor of guilt and shame and just be looking and finding and attracting more things to feel guilty and shameful about. If you get off the elevator at a place of willingness or at a place of love, you're going to find more of that. Hope this is making sense. If you're watching, if this is making sense, drop us a comment. If you're watching the replay and it's making sense, let me know it's making sense to you. So when I started doing this work with clients, it became the same game changer that it became for me. And no one was more surprised when my clients would turn around and tell me that they've had the most phenomenal results. Like they would call me the next day and say, fantastic. My clients would call me the next day and will have brought in a significant sum of money, or will have had an incredible encounter with a loved one that they'd been, you know, had a lifetime of distress and difficulties with. So these were profound changes. For me, this became the difference between a performer and a high performer. So a performer is someone who's, you know, squirreling away and like the hamster on the wheel, because you can leave the corporate hamster and you could still get on another hamster, get on another hamster wheel and keep going around. And that's what I realized was happening in my own business, that I was going around. I just found a brand new hamster wheel, which was my own business. But the ease came when I released the old emotions. So I want to share with you, this is probably the biggest takeaway I would like you to have from this session. So if you're listening, I want you to have a pen and paper in hand and be prepared to stop, rewind, and make some notes. There are 4 levels of consciousness that drive all of us. And I would like you to consider where you exist on one of these levels, who you are. And you can fluctuate between them, but you will have a baseline level, which is your standard method of operating, where you exist most of the time. As I said, you can fluctuate between all 4. So I'm going to start at the bottom rung, and it relates to this. I don't know if Dr. David Hawkins ever knew it related to this, but I've related it to this. And this is the most fantastic piece of work. You must be familiar with it. I would highly encourage you to get familiar with it, because these vibrational frequencies and understanding the how this operates is just a game changer. First level of consciousness is called to me, T-O-me, to me. This is victim mentality. This is, I haven't got the money. I can't do that. COVID, whatever, you know, everything is like, life is happening to me and I'm out of control. Circumstance define me. I have no personal power. So we can get it. We can get there some places. You know, last Sunday I was driving in London traffic and I was caught in terrible traffic. And I'm like, why am I always caught in traffic? And I'm like, look at me going into victim mode. The second level of consciousness is called by me. And I believe that, oh gosh, I wish I could have a figure to put on it. I'd only be guessing, but I believe a huge proportion of entrepreneurs and online business owners, even high performers, exist at by me level of consciousness. By me level of consciousness is this. You think you need to work harder. You need to put a little bit more effort in. You need to work a few more longer hours. You need to maybe put some more paid ads out. You just need to keep doing. You need to keep pushing, hustling. This was me in the early stages of my business. And it means that everything happens by me, by my hands. By my hands, everything will happen. If I don't do it, it's not going to happen. So by me is that real hustle. The next one, the next level of consciousness, and let me know if you're listening and you are even on the replay, just let me know if you where you feel you are. Are you in to me? Are you in by me? Or maybe you're in through me. Through me level of consciousness, and we're rising up the scale with each of these levels. To me is down here, by me is a little bit higher, and then through me is a little bit higher. Through me is when you allow things to channel through you. Like, I didn't prepare for this today because I'm going to let whatever needs to come through, because I work at my best when I just allow things to come through. I allow it to come through me. How many times have you been working with your coaching clients, no matter what level you're working with people, and no matter who you're working with, if you are doing what you are meant to be doing, if this is your truest calling in life, things are going to be coming through you. They're just going to be happening, and you're going to be thinking, damn, that was good. I don't even know where that came from because it was so good. Because this is the experience I have. I'm like, I don't even know where that's come from, because it's channeling through you. And it means that you do not push, you do not hustle extra hard, you do not go into fear and scarcity when your bank account is looking lean, or when whatever might be sort of setting your nervous system on fire, and putting you in panic mode. That you just trust that you are a vessel and a channel for your greatest gifts. Then you have the highest level of consciousness, which is called ASME consciousness. And I have news for you. Most of us will never reach ASME consciousness, because one of the qualifiers for being an ASME consciousness is that we have an unconditional love for everyone and everything. We are as one. It is the sort of the law of oneness, and really embodying that. And that level of consciousness is saved for like the greats in the industry. And when I say the greats in the industry, I mean the big names, like you're talking about like Jesus and the Buddha and Allah. You're talking about like the biggest, the people who are almost transcending what it is to be human. That's when you get to ASME. So my feeling is that humanity is aiming towards ASME. And as we get more and more literally enlightened, because we are beings of light. And if you think of these as like weighted down levels, the higher we go, we become enlightened. We become more that being of light that we actually are. And I'm talking about beings of light, and I'm actually academic at heart. I'm a bit of a scientist, and I love understanding the source of things. And this is just too important to dismiss as woo-woo, because it is all science. It actually is all science. We are vibrating energy. All of our emotions do have a frequency. When we let go of those negative emotions, we rise to the top. We rise to a higher level, not to the top. Remember, that's reserved for the big guys and gals. But when we rise to the top and we rise to the next level, we become a vibrational match for something different. So you start attracting. So in victim mode, maybe you're trying to sell something and you're like, no one ever buys my stuff. And you can have a conversation with someone and maybe they don't buy something. And then when you get to, if you can rise to through me mode, or even to buy me mode, and you show up in different energy, that same person can be in hell yes for your business. It may just be a complete hell yes for you, because you show up differently, because your energy is everything. So this is what I want you to know. I've got a few minutes left here. I hope this has been of value to you wherever you are. If you're watching it on replay, whatever, I hope it's given you some food for thought. This is the most important thing I want you to know. Every single person, and every married person, not just single, every individual on this planet is harboring some level of trauma from the past. And to quote one of my favorites, Joe Dispenza, he talks about making your familiar past become your predictable future. That's so significant. Your familiar past becomes thank you, Paul. Thank you so much. Your familiar past becomes your predictable future, because unless you examine your beliefs and let go of those old beliefs and let go of the energy attached to those beliefs, that emotional energy that's stored in your cells, you keep repeating that cycle. You keep repeating that cycle. You keep repeating that cycle. And repetition is the key to mastery, which is why you've mastered, not you personally, but all of us at some level have mastered disempowering thoughts that keep us stuck. And I want to say this as like a high performance coach and a high performer myself, to be some of my high performing clients. I had a gentleman who had a multi-million pound empire of nightclubs and restaurants and offices. And his prime motivation was that he was not good enough for his father. So on the outside, it looked like he had all the fixings and all the trappings of success. We would say, oh, he's got an amazing house and he's got a beautiful wife and he's got wonderful children and they go to private school and they fly by private jet to their holidays. Like, he's got all the fixings of it. But the motivating factor there was, I'm not good enough. Now, it's beautiful that he's got, you know, this luxurious lifestyle because that's available for us. That's available. And he's worked to get there. But changing his identity as someone who's worthy, with or without his father's love, became the thing that we needed to overcome most. And if you're, the question to ask yourself, because I had this discussion with someone the other day saying, well, why would you even want to change if your past behavior is such a motivating factor to acquire the good things in life? And it's because the intention behind that, the intention behind the multi-million empire with all of the things it achieved, was to try and prove himself good enough. And it was starting to destroy his life because he was always wanting to be good enough. And the fact is, he is good enough exactly as he is. And we're all good enough exactly as we are. And it's about releasing that emotional connection. Because if you imagine this, when you're a child and you have an experience, you have a highly emotional experience. And I'm going to use money because money is a big issue for a lot of people. You have a highly emotional experience, negative emotional experience. I'm going to just use an example. Like, you see your mother and your father fighting about money. Maybe he's come home from work drunk and he always has far too much to drink, spends most of his wages. And then your mother's, arguing that, how am I going to feed the kids? And you're, little Tommy sitting at the top of the stairs, listening to this argument. You can make some really disempowering decisions. You may feel frightened. You may feel threatened. And at that height of negative emotion, imagine you kind of breathing it in and locking it into your cells. And then you spend the rest of your life looking for evidence to prove yourself right. And you will prove yourself right because your reticular activating system, your filter for the world, is out there to prove you right until you can remove that filter. And the way you remove that filter is you dive back into those old experiences. You go back, you release the energy, you release that energetic connection to that emotion so that you can say, little Tommy can say, I remember seeing my parents fight, but he's emotionally disconnected from it. It doesn't affect him anymore. It doesn't drive his behavior. It doesn't make him feel like he's in scarcity or he has to work extra hard or that money is bad or you mustn't ever get married, whatever, because you make a decision. You make a decision when you experience those things and that drives your behavior. I hope this has made some sense to you. Biggest takeaway is be aware of which level of consciousness you're operating from at any given moment. Remember, you have a baseline. You've got to me, by me, through me, and as me. You have a baseline. If you're a by me, you might want to be aspiring to get to through me. And your behaviors there are going to be more leaning into trusting that you do live in an abundant universe and you are a resourceful person and things will materialize, not just by sitting back and eating potato chips on your couch, but things will materialize because your genius will flow through when you give yourself permission to have fun, enjoy life, and let things happen. Anyway, I'm going to invite Dre to come back in because we've just got a couple of minutes to wrap up now. So,
Hey, Denise, that was phenomenal. I'll definitely watch that all again and take it in because I find the law of attraction really fascinating. Like, so for me, a book that changed my life was The Secret. So that's where I was, the positive thinking and thinking of what you want, but then I know that there's so much more to it with quantum physics and the vibration and what you've just explained. So
and it becomes like you can actually, if you've ever watched Star Trek, like they used to just kind of like materialize things, like they think about something, it would materialize before their eyes. When you get into a vibrational resonance with what you want, you actually then you literally materialize things. Like you're calling in with your energy, you're calling on all the components that you need to create. And it might not happen overnight because sometimes there are lessons to learn, there are things to happen, but it's when you're laser focused on something, it can't not happen. It has to happen with laser focus. And most people think they're laser focused on one thing, but they're laser focused on the lack of it. It's about laser focus without thinking about the lack. There's no, like, forget the lack. Just focus on what you want and don't let anything else interrupt that flow of what you want. And let it be genuine, let it be true, let it be yours. That's where a lot of people make a mistake. It's not truly theirs. They see other people, I want what they have. You don't need what they have. You need what you got. And you need to let that stuff shine through.
All right, so question on that. So I know that's probably where I've been going wrong. Like, so I've got a goal. We'll just say it's not a car, but let's just say it's a car. And then I'm like, I really want that car. I really want that car. But then part of me was like, oh, you're never going to be able to get that car, or something like that. How do you turn that doubt or that negative, and just be like, yeah, this is be so certain that this is going to happen?
Well, there is obviously doing the work, like what's putting the doubt there. Is there a bigger picture giving you the doubt? Is there something you need to explore from your past? But practical things to do literally today, if someone was in that position where they're thinking, I want that car, go book that test drive. Go book the test drive. Start materializing it. Go into the showroom. Take a photo of yourself with that car. Book the test drive. Start seeing yourself in it. Get it on your vision board. Start thinking about what the payment plan. Maybe if you can't buy it outright, you get it on a lease, and you lease it for a few years or something. But there's always a way. There's always a way. And when you get it's, and I believe you know this, whatever you give your attention to amplifies. So if you can have that creeping thought come in, and you can say, actually, just for today, I'm going to put you in a little box, and I'm going to leave you in the little box there. And I'm just going to focus on what I want. The law of attraction is so simple. Focus on what you want. That's all. It's focus on what you want. But it's all those other things that come in. It's all the little fears that come in and tear us apart. And we give it too much energy to it.
Yeah, that does. I love the way. Yeah, it's just so simple. It's yeah, you make it sound simple. What's the best way for people to get hold of you?
Yes, Jules, fantastic. So they can follow me on Facebook, or I'm at denisemortimer.com, my website, and there's some freebies on there. There's some cool. There's a money mindset rapid transformation session available on there. It's a very low cost item. I made it available to everyone. So you can find that on denisemortimer.com. You can feel free to drop me a DM over on Facebook as well. It's been such an honor to be here.
Oh, thank you for coming on. And have you got any like workshops, seminars, challenges like coming up that people can jump into?
I've not got anything coming up at the moment, but if people just, follow me on Facebook, and I've just started on TikTok. That's an insane platform. It's insane. It's like going insane. So I'm over on TikTok as well, but Facebook is the #1 place to find me at the moment. So I look forward to connecting with some of you.
Awesome. Denise, like, thank you so much for coming on today, like sharing like your knowledge as well, and also being part of what we've created here over today and the next couple of days as well. So really appreciate you, really value you, and you're just awesome. And I can't wait to speak to you more, because I'm really like interested in how it all works.
Fabulous. Good. I look forward to that. Enjoy the rest of these few days, and happy birthday.
Thank you. Thanks, Denise. All right, I'll see you later.
Bye, everybody.
All right, next up we've got Scotty. So Scotty is a friend and mate of Shane Bird. So I don't know Scotty too well, because we only really introduced like yesterday. But what he's got to share is it's going to be absolutely fire. So I'm looking forward to it. So let's get Scotty out here. Hey buddy, how are you? Oh, can't hear you. Right, do you want to, if you go down to the settings, it's the one on the right, click on the settings, go to audio, and then it should be audio in. and then you might need to select your microphone, or because it might be set at default. A few people have had that
How we
problem
go?
today.
How we going now?
Oh, there we go. Boom.
Platform, new platform. That's all right. We got
Yeah, that's all good. Yeah, how are you?
man. What an awesome event so far, bro. Man, what an awesome cause, man. Really appreciate the opportunity.
Oh no, bro, I appreciate you coming on. And it's you talking about win the day mentality?
Really. Yeah, it's really helped me along my journey. I mean, of growth, overcoming challenge heights. There's lots of internal resistance, as I'm sure you know, as I'm sure everyone, a lot of internal resistance, and seeing this win the day mentality, do that so much and to help things.
All right, Scotty. I'm not sure if it's me, if it's on my side or your end. It's kind of like you're in a, do you know, like those old Chinese movies, like where you talk and then it stops and then you like talk, like that's what's happening like on my side. Guys that are watching, just in the chat screen, just let us know if you're having the same sort of, or if it's just me. But I'm gonna let you, gonna let you loose. All right. And if there's any problems, I'll let you know. Yeah, Jules is saying the same. All right, Scotty, can you say something for us?
How are we going now? Any better?
Oh, yeah, perfect.
I didn't change anything.
I'll leave you to it. Yeah, thanks, mate.
Alrighty, we're away. Awesome. All right, guys. A bit of technical difficulties, but hey, there's always going to be something, right? So, just to start off today, I just want to run you guys all through a bit of a scenario, something that I'm sure we're all familiar with. We've been through at some point in our lives. And so whether you're a coach, whether you're just someone listening in, whether you've been in the personal growth game, the business game for a couple of decades, or whether you're someone that's just in there like, you know what, I kind of want to get into some personal growth and I've got some things that I want to overcome in my life, right? We're in that point, right? And it's like, okay, I know where I want to be and it doesn't matter what our goal is. You know, maybe you're already a multi-millionaire, but the goal is a billionaire, right? Maybe you're trying to mend a broken relationship. Maybe you're trying to lose some weight, maybe trying to overcome smoking, right? Trying to get rid of the drink, get over some drugs, move through some withdrawal symptoms. Doesn't matter, right? Maybe you're trying to reach more clients, maybe trying to expand and create a new business. Doesn't matter. But who can relate to this, okay? You know where you are, and then you look at where you want to be, and you just think to yourself, oh shit, man, I got a long way to go, right? And in that moment, we kind of start in this negative thinking spiral, the spiral of doom. Right? And what happens, we start saying things like, man, I don't know if I can do that. You know, man, oh, it looks pretty tough. You know, oh, it's going to cost a lot. It's going to take so much time and effort. I don't know if I've got the time. Oh, man. What happens? Our self-belief drops. Our confidence drops. We start to procrastinate as a result of overwhelm. And before we know it, we're stagnating. We're not taking action and we're not moving forward. Right? So what we do is we shrink our focus and we introduce this win the day mentality. And that's exactly what it's doing. It's shrinking our focus into a daily achievable standard. Win the day mentality says that, you know, can I climb that mountain? I'm not sure. But can I take my next step? Absolutely. Win the day mentality says, can I really serve that many people? Can I make that much money? Can I mend this relationship? Can I overcome this addiction? But can I do 5 simple things today? Absolutely, right? And when this happens, when we get into this state, what does our self-talk do? It gets positive. It goes, yeah, I can do that. This is easy, man. I got this, right? Our self-belief rises. Our confidence rises. We stop procrastinating. We get focused. We take action, and we move forward. And this is what it's all about. So this is the power of the win the day mentality. It's helped me a lot along my journey, and the people I've been able to pass this on to have seen great results as well, which is awesome. So you're probably thinking, Scotty, that sounds amazing, but you know, how do I win the day? How do I do that? So to go on this, guys, I got to set the scene. So we're going back in time. We're going back 2,500 years to the year 480 BCE. And if you're not familiar with this time, right, we're walking left and right with our buddies, the 300 Spartans. We're walking down the hot gates to set up our stance to go against the 100,000 Persian soldiers who are our enemy. 300 versus 100,000, right? And it's probably pretty easy for the Spartans to fall into that cycle, right? Like, oh man, that's a lot of Persians. I don't know if I'm pretty scared, you know? So just like yourself, with that big challenge, with that huge goal, right? With that scary outcome that you got to get towards, it'd be easy to fall into that negative thinking spiral. But the Spartans knew something. They knew, we don't have to defeat 100,000 Persians. We just have to defeat the few that come at us today. And they knew that if we can win the day over and over and over, eventually we will win the war, right? And this is the power of the win the day mentality. So to continue the Spartans thing, because to me the Spartans represent the pinnacle of this win the day mentality of, even though we're completely outnumbered and the odds are against us, we know that if we can do the simple things today, if we can win the day over and over, eventually we will win the war. So I've got an acronym for you guys. 8 words, 8 lessons, 8 fundamentals of how you can guarantee that you will win the day. So if you're an experienced coach, I want this to serve you as a bit of a reminder, right? Maybe a bit of a checklist to make sure you're doing the basics. And of course, if you're new to this personal growth journey, see it as a bit of a challenge. What's 1 or 2 things that you can add to a daily routine? What's a couple of things that you're like, hey, you know what? I actually don't do that at all. That's something that I can do to improve and grow myself, right? So what I'd encourage you to do is take note of all 8 and then pick one that you're going to start with and absolutely nail. And when you get that right, move on to the second one. This is going to be the most effective way for you to apply what we're going through. So, S is you have to start strong. The S for Spartans stands for start strong. Okay, every day when we wake up, our mind is in what we call alpha state, which basically just means it's very susceptible to influence. Think of it as a computer that gets reset every day, and it is yet to be programmed. Programmed for the day, what to focus on, what to look for, what emotions to feel. So when you can start strong and set your focus, that's going to set you up to win the day. So a few really simple things that I do that help me start strong is I get up nice and early and I journal. I write down some gratitude. Okay, by thinking about gratitude the first thing in the morning, it sets your mind to pick up things throughout the day to be grateful for, right? And coming out of that amazing talk we just listened to, this is going to raise our vibration as we're thinking about gratitude. We're thinking about the things in our life that we're grateful for, that we're thankful for. And this is going to go on to attract more things into our life to be grateful for, to be thankful for. That's a great place to be. The next thing I do is I write down my goals. I write down my goals and I visualize my goals, right? Super important. I go on to write down some affirmations and repeat them back to myself. And then I write down 3 things that I'm going to do that day to win the day, right? And so after about 30 minutes, after waking up, doing some things, journaling, I know exactly what I need to do that day. So you have to start strong. P is to prioritize, right? It's very easy to. So it's very important that we pick the top 5. What are the 5 priorities that you need to do every day that by doing those 5 things, you will move forward, right? And a great way to do this, a great exercise is to look ahead maybe 6 months or a year and ask yourself, where do I want to be? Cool. And then start to reverse engineer that goal down to a monthly standard, a weekly standard, and then a daily standard. So what do you have to achieve every day? And then break that down into your 5 top priorities. Right? Super, super, super important. Knowing exactly what you need to do. And this removes overwhelm because you don't have 100 things to worry about. You've just got 5 things, right? And can you do 5 things every day? Absolutely. Easy peasy, right? And this is going to allow you to step into your day with confidence. Moving right along. A. The first A of Spartans is, of course, action. Because without action, nothing happens. You have to be able to take action. You have to be able to take what you're learning, take what you're visualizing, take your emotions and transfer it into action so that you can move forward. Right? Action will always be the difference maker. All right, R is to reflect. John Maxwell, one of my favorite authors and speaker, such an amazing guy, he says that an experience is not the greatest teacher. An evaluated experience is. Reflecting is the act of pausing to let the lessons catch up. So by finding some time every day, 5 minutes, 10 minutes to reflect on the day and asking yourself a few empowering questions, right? What went well? What did I learn? What could I have done better? How can I be better tomorrow, right? Taking the time to reflect is how you capitalize on your wins and definitely capitalize on your losses, right? Because losses, of course, are just opportunities to learn. So by reflecting, you accelerate your growth and you accelerate your learning. All right, T is to track. Tracking is something that is super important that I resisted for a little while. And I think it was just because of the, when you look at the results and maybe you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, it can be quite confronting looking at those numbers. But by tracking your progress, by tracking your habits on a daily basis, it's a great way to keep yourself on track, right? So depending on what your specific priorities are of the day, I really encourage you to find some really simple systems that you can use to track your progress and to track your results. This is going to help you a lot, right? It's going to actually allow you to gauge and see your progress over time. All right, awesome. So the next A, the second A of Spartans is accountability, right? Accountability drives consistency, and consistency gets the job done, right? And so when we talk about accountability, it can be quite an easy thing to create for yourself, just that sense of accountability of like you're actually doing it for something more than yourself, right? So I talk about this concept of 3D accountability, right? So all that means is we're getting accountability, being held accountable from 3 different directions, right? 3 different dimensions. So the first is you want to get a coach. You want to get a coach, someone that's got the experience, who's got the results that you want, that is going to hold you accountable and say, this is what you have to do if that's what you want to achieve, right? And they're going to hold you accountable. The second dimension is from your peers. Maybe a fellow coach, maybe a friend who's going through a similar journey, right? Call them out, make a bit of a challenge. Hey, bro, let's see who can do the most by the end of next month, right? Set a challenge, but get some accountability from your peers. Okay, that's the second level. The third dimension, the third level of this 3D accountability is to go on and teach someone else what you're learning, so it puts the pressure on you to lead by example. And I always believe that leadership is the best form of accountability. So if you can get accountability from a coach, from your peers, and from someone that you're leading, this is going to give you an amazing sense of accountability, and this will drive so much consistency. And as we all know, consistency is always key. All right, moving right along. Next one is our night routine. Okay, night routine is so important. I heard a cool quote. It says the best morning routine starts the night before. Okay, so you have to think, what can I do tonight that's going to allow me to have a smooth morning? What's going to allow me to set myself up to start the day strong? Right? How can I put myself on the front foot moving into tomorrow that's going to allow me to get up stress-free? I'm going to work through my morning routine. I'm going to be nice and effective. I'm going to feel great. I'm going to have that sense of accomplishment and achievement nice and early, and put me into good momentum as I lead into my day. Whatever that is going to look different for every person, but simple things, right? Get your clothes ready, get your gym gear ready, prep your food, all that kind of stuff, right? Have your journal open and ready to go. Have your coffee stuff out on the table ready to go. Little things like that, just by saving a couple minutes in the morning, is going to make you feel so much more effective, and it's going to really capitalize on the law of momentum, right? If you feel successful in the morning, this is going to flow on to the rest of your day. All right, so the last letter of the mighty Spartans acronym on how you can be the warrior to win your day is probably the most, well, in my experience anyway, it's such an underrated idea, and it's this idea of quality sleep, right? So the S for Spartans is sleep. Sleep is so crucial to maximize your energy, to maximize your emotional intelligence, right? Everyone knows what happens when you get tired. So having good rest, prioritizing quality sleep, and allowing yourself to step into the day in your best state is going to be such an important and such a great way for you to maximize your performance, right? So 3 really quick tips on how you can have better quality sleep, and there's so much great content out there for this. But a couple of things that I've found that are really easy to do First one is just don't eat. All right, 2 or 3 hours before you're actually going to go to sleep, just stop eating. Okay, as we know, our digestive system is a big part of using energy. It requires a lot of energy to digest food. So if your body's digesting food, it can't put its energy into all your recovery and rejuvenation, replenishing that wants to happen when you're sleeping. Right, so don't eat for a couple hours before you go to sleep. The second one is to do some form of meditation, right? And if meditation isn't something you're really into, I really encourage you to just kind of give it a go, right? No harm in trying. And what this is going to do, it's going to get you into a nice, peaceful state, okay? And we often hear that the energy and the state that you go to sleep in is how you wake up, right? Because as you know, our subconscious mind doesn't sleep. So it's going to be just recycling our last thoughts and recycling how we felt when we went to sleep. And so we can get into a nice, peaceful state, maybe reflecting on some gratitude, maybe reflecting on the things that are going well in your life, all the things that are going great. Think about your goals. It's going to put you in a great state. So it's going to allow your body to fall into deep rest a lot easier, and you're going to wake up feeling a whole lot better. Right. And the third tip is to simply have some good content into your brain, into your mind just before you go to sleep. Reading a book, maybe listen to something educational, something nice, something that's just going to, once again, when you go to sleep and your subconscious mind is just doing its thing when you're sleeping, it's thinking about something nice. It's thinking about something positive. Okay. So those are just a couple really, really simple tips on how you can just optimize the quality of your sleep. Okay. So just to recap, I found that being able to shrink my focus to really adopt this win the day mentality has helped me so much along my journey. You know, just on my personal journey, I've been through some mental health challenges, right? I've been that person that's, you know, I've always wanted more. I've always wanted to do something more. I've always wanted to contribute and help people. So when I finally decided to be a coach, and it was just totally against the grain of the societal norm, man, that was really challenging. So by being able to just shrink that focus, bring it down to such an achievable standard, an achievable level where I know that even I can do it, has helped me so much, right? So let's go back through it. The first S, right? S for Spartans is to start strong, okay? You have to start the day strong, you know, set your focus, set your intention, know exactly what you have to do to win the day. Super important. P is to prioritize. What are the 5 things that you need to do every single day that by doing so will guarantee that you move forward? A is to take action. Action will always be the difference maker. Without action, nothing happens. And of course, R is to reflect, the act of pausing to allow the lessons to catch up. T, to track your actions, to track your progress, right? You can only manage what you can measure. The second A is accountability, right? Adopting that 3D accountability, getting accountability from a coach, from peers, and of course from someone who you're leading. Leadership is the best form of accountability. And the N is our night routine. How can you set yourself up to have an effective morning? This is going to do wonders for how you feel in the morning, right? When you're feeling productive, when you feel like, man, I've already achieved so much and I've only been up for an hour. Such a great feeling. And of course, sleep. Prioritizing sleep. If this is something that you struggle with, read a book, right? Have a look on YouTube. There's so much great content out there. There's some really simple things that we can do that compound together and will help you have such a high quality sleep. So guys, that's pretty much me, right, in terms of this win the day mentality. And the reason this is so effective, right, is when our goals exceeds our current self-image, we're gonna create some kind of internal conflict, internal resistance, right? Moving through this resistance is how we grow. But being able to shrink that focus down into an achievable daily standard is going to enable you to step out into your full self, right? It's going to enable you to step through into your day with full confidence, take massive action, and of course, this is going to enable you to move forward, to progress, and then of course, win the war, right? So that's pretty much me, Dre.
Scotty, can you call the fire brigade, because that was fire, absolute fire. Thank you, bro. I've got a couple of like questions. So with your clients and like people that come to see you, what are kind of like the common problems and like frustrations that you come up against, or that you find, or that you see?
Yeah, awesome. So how I work is I really try and help people break these cycles. You know, I'm sure, and this is quite effective, right? Because it doesn't matter where you are in your life. We all hit plateaus. We all hit cycles. So basically, I help people break through these cycles by changing the way they think, right? And winning, and by being able to adopt a simple principle like win the day, is adjusting our mentality, right? Progress and success, it's all a mentality, right? It doesn't matter what you're trying to achieve, it's all a mentality, right? So I've been able to identify their limiting thinking strategies, right? Because it's all it is. Negative thinking is simply a habit. It's just a style of thing we've done over and over and over and over again that's become normal, it's become familiar. So helping them to identify those negative thinking strategies and then change them, right? It's so amazing. So I guess, yeah, to answer your question, right, their frustrations is just like, man, I always find myself back in the same situation, you know? And this is such a common conversation to have with someone who's trying to grow and trying to move forward.
I love that, bro. Love that. All right, just got some messages saying, oh, that's one before. Yeah, Kirsty, so much value. What's the best way for people to get hold of you?
So pretty much most active on Instagram. Yeah, so you can find me at Scott Elliott, which is SCOTTELLIOTT, and then _, so __.
Oh, brilliant. And do you have any sort of like workshops, seminars?
Not so much at the
coming up, any
moment.
challenges?
Not so much at the moment, but kind of got something going on in the background at the moment, which is pretty cool. And so that'll definitely be coming out on my Instagram, promoting that and putting that out there for sure.
Awesome. All right, guys, we've got a few minutes left. So if you've got any questions for Scotty, then yeah, please, last drinks right now before we move on to the night session for the evening. And I'm getting a little bit tired. I'm getting a little bit.
Mate, you're doing awesome.
tired.
You're doing awesome,
Yeah.
bro. You're doing awesome,
I
man.
appreciate.
And I'm happy to just fill in a bit of space, and I can just talk about a couple of things that I've found to be a bit of a block for people, right?
Oh yes,
So
please. Yeah.
One thing that I've found that's just so common is as we all may know, right, that this power of our environment, the power of association, and often, I guess people we hear those quotes, right? You know, you are the sum of the 5 people you spend most time with. But I've found that people don't understand why that's so important. They understand what's really happening, right? So sometimes a bit of understanding can help. So you know, I find it so fascinating. As human beings, right, we have this deep need to fit into the people who are around us, you know. So what people sometimes don't understand is the people that they hang around with, the people who they associate with, they have this deep unconscious drive, they're not even aware of it, that is convincing them, and it's making them behave in a way that is going to get them to fit into that group, right? So the way I explain this, like the power of association is so incredible, because it's almost like a cheat code. You know, when you're playing, what is it, GTA, you know, you go like left, right, circle, square, you know, unlimited money, you know. I feel like changing your environment, changing the people you hang out with is like a cheat code for life. You just hang around them and you're like, oh, okay, I'm gonna do what they're doing. And if they're growing, if they're moving forward, guess what? The law of osmosis kicks in and you're gonna start doing what they're doing, right? If they're reading, if they're going to the gym, if they're eating healthy, you're just gonna start doing that stuff, right? So if that's one thing that I could just encourage people to do, is just to start creating some awareness around what's your environment like. You know, our output is a direct product of our input. That's the things we're listening to, the people we're hanging out with, you're watching the news, right? What are you putting into your brain through your eyes, through your ears? What are you speaking? What are you saying, right? This is all about input. So if you can create some awareness around that and then make some adjustments to align with where you want to go, that is going to be such a massive thing that you can do for yourself.
Bro, I totally agree. That was that was awesome. All right, Scotty, any final words? Like, say, do you have any like dad jokes, any quotes, any
dad jokes? Yeah, okay, I got a good quote, right? So huge fan of Tony Robbins, of course, right? Of course, who isn't? And I think something that's so powerful is he says the questions that we ask ourselves habitually. So the questions we ask ourselves habitually create the lens in which we see the world, right? And I thought this was quite powerful because we're not even aware of it, right? But we're continuously asking ourselves questions. When we go into a challenge, I think failure is such a great example, right? Something goes wrong. You know, what are you saying to yourself? What are your questions that you're asking yourself? Man, like, oh, why me? Why does this keep happening? Right? If we can shift those habitual questions into hey, what's the lesson here? How is this going to help me grow? How is this experience giving me credibility to lead other people who are going to be going through this challenge in the future, right? By shifting how our habitual questions is going to completely change how we view the world and how we view those challenges and those obstacles. It's going to change that obstacle as being a block in our road. It's going to change it to just a stepping stone to go further and to go higher, right? So by adjusting some of these things, by shifting our perspective, man, it's going to make all the difference.
Man, you're an absolute legend, Scott. I just want to say thank you for giving up your time, coming on, sharing gold after gold after gold. And I love the Spartans and like the information that you share, bro. So appreciate that so much.
No worries at all, man. And I just want to give you praise as well, brother. I mean, what you're doing is awesome, man. I mean, I was just saying before how crazy that chat is. Man, there's so much energy and so much enthusiasm and fire and wisdom. Like I you know, it's been a masterclass. It's been amazing, mate. So shout out to yourself as well, bro. You're doing an amazing thing, and I'm sure all the families involved are so grateful of the effort and the work you're putting in. So massive love to you, bro.
Oh, big love to you too as well, bro. I'll speak to you soon.
All right.
All right. Yeah. All right. So, guys, we are wrapping up this stream and we're going to be moving to the night session. I'm just going to end this. So, in about 3 minutes' time, we'll open up the last session. We've got 4 speakers to finish out the night before we start all over again at 6 a.m.